The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What's up, everyone? We got something special for you today. Yeah, Tombi and I randomly decided to draw something, which is whatever comes out of it, I don't know. We didn't have anything planned, so yeah, this is just to kill some time and actually show off our artistic skills a little bit. So I've decided to go with something that I enjoyed watching when I was younger, which is Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I'm trying to draw the protagonist of that show, Shinji Ikari, which he's a bit of a whiny bitch, but that's fine, I guess. And as you can hear, I'm not alone, obviously. Tombi's here with me today, and he will show off his artistic chops every once in a while too. So
yeah, so I mean, it's very rare that I get to draw. It's usually if I've got spare time in the evening. It's usually playing games, but
that's pretty much the same for me.
We've taken the opportunity to do some drawing and do some drawing side by side, so we can obviously share that with you guys. Mm-hmm. But also, what it's going to allow us to do, obviously, for the stream that you've been watching all day, is allow for Tombi and partners, whoever may be on the 24-hour stream, just to have a break for maybe an hour, just grab some lunch, or an hour or two, grab some lunch, grab some dinner, and all that usual good stuff, but without any loss of quality or content. So, as you can see, I've got my recording going, Smooth's got his recording going. We are also sharing our recordings between each other, so I will swap the recordings around, focus more on Smooth, then come back to me, go to Smooth, come back to me, and we'll just generally have a laugh.
Yeah, and just talk whatever, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially over the last bloody 24 or so hours, because the amount of stupid idiots that have just come out of the woodwork on
tell me about
it. Twitter is just fucking absolutely amazes me. Did you see the bloke having a go at that Star Wars girl over?
Actually, I have not, no.
Mate, this fucking lunatic. So that Star Wars girl had posted something about the Iman fucking Vellani, or whatever her name is.
Lassie
Marvel
that did
chops.
The Miss Marvel chick.
Yeah, so the Miss Marvel chick, and some fucking idiot turns around and says, "Oh, that picture's been altered on the left. You're sick. She's a child. That's a Muslim child," and this, that, and the other. And like, we all turned around and said, "But she's a fucking adult. She's 21 fucking years old. It's not a fucking child, you fucking muppet, you cunt."
Well, to be fair, Tommy, you shouldn't forget how the internet treated Greta Thunberg until she turned 20 or 21.
Oh yeah, I mean this is also true.
Remember this, Tommy. I always remember people of that. The internet loves protecting special people. No offense to Iman Vellani, but the internet really does love protecting a lot of people, and it doesn't help their cause, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue semantics. You could argue semantics and say like, hey, yeah, I mean, she's technically still a child, but nah, that's a bunch of bollocks. She's not. She's an adult, and she knows what she's doing. If you want to argue that she needs protection, sure, then by all means, then give her a good reasoning why she needs protecting, and from who. I would kindly ask, because at the end of the day, everybody is on the internet. Nobody can fucking protect you from the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest, guys. At the end of the day, what it all boils down to is some people have opinions on the internet. We're not free from being called out when we do some dumb shit. Nobody does. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care what I say on the internet as long as it's within the bounds of legality. I don't fucking care what I'm saying on the internet. And if
Yep.
somebody wants to talk shit about me, by all means, I don't fucking care. Do it. Then be my guest. As long as you
Yeah,
don't
I
bring
mean,
as long as you don't drag my mother into anything, then everything's all fair game.
yeah, exactly. People are just fucking too much like arseholes these days. I've also realised that in order to use my graphics screen, I needed to change the primary monitor because I kept on trying to draw something, and yeah, my screen in OBS kept on changing, and I'm like, what the frick? Trying
So
to
it didn't
work out
recognize the
what's
source.
causing
Then
it.
is that the
It's
idea?
it's it's because the way the touchscreen works, it
Mm-hmm.
basically acts as a kind of like
Second
a
monitor,
screen. Yeah, it's sending the pen control or the pen input to the
right?
primary monitor. So
Yeah.
it was controlling my main screen rather than the screen on the tablet. So now that's better. So now I can just do this, and I can say, people are arseholes generally. So people are arseholes. But this is what I like about this tablet. I mean, it's um, really good in terms of its being able to very lightly draw on the screen to then applying lots of pressure. I
Mm-hmm.
fucking love that. It's absolutely an amazing fucking thing.
It's good that
Um,
it recognizes the pressure though, like because you don't
yeah,
necessarily have that with tablets all the time.
no, and I mean for the price point, I mean I think I paid 250 quid for this screen, and
That's pretty good,
it's a 16-inch screen that can act
right?
as a second monitor. I mean the actual device is fucking huge. It's like bloody at least 22 inches across. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a big old device. It's got controls down. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's go full face on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
and let me flip this up, so you'll get the idea of how big it is. So on the right hand side, it's got the buttons for deleting, forward, back. It's got the zoom controls, so I can
Mm-hmm.
zoom into with the dial. So I'll get all of the controls over it. It's a freaking good
Are you
device.
sharing your screen right now? Because
On Discord, so it's shared on Discord, right?
I don't
So you
see
should
it.
still
It's
be able
stuck on
to.
the source, mate.
All
It's
right,
stuck
okay,
on this
never mind.
this ESX thing.
Oh, I wonder why it's fucking sharing that. Let me share. Let me share. Oh,
Because I was like, I would love to see it, but I can't see it right now.
yeah, I know what it's doing. I know
That's okay.
what it's doing.
That's okay.
It's sharing the application, not sharing the screen. So, you
Mm,
want to see this one and get the old Inception going? You should see
yeah.
me now.
Yeah, I see you. I see you, mate.
So fucking boomerisms. So this is the size of the tablet,
Oh
and
yeah,
on this
I've seen this
side
one. Yeah.
is the dials for zooming in.
Mm-hmm.
This is mouse control, so this allows me to do a little bit of fine control. There's about 8 macro buttons that I can program for the usual stuff:
That's pretty
save,
rad.
zoom in. It's a fucking lovely device, I will say. For drawing on it,
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen another tablet or another device come close to it. Not that I've had a lot of experience with other devices.
Mm.
So where is live streaming tablet? Lovely. There we go. Pating, pating, pating,
Ka-ching.
pating. I've also just realised that I should check my. Yeah, cool. So just make sure that you're. Can you just speak for me?
Boobs.
Good. So that's you tested. So you're in the yellow. I'm in the yellow. We both should come out exactly the
Perfect.
same. Did we want to listen to any form of royalty-free music?
I'm all ears, mate.
Cool. Because I've got Epidemic Sound, which I can pipe in.
Well, on your end at least, because I probably get copyright struck when I do that.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course you would. Of
I'll
course you
probably
would.
stick with Lo-Fi
Fuck.
Girl for the time being, or something like similar. So we have,
Lo-fi girl.
well, they have playlists that you can use, and they're pretty much royalty free. So
Do you add those in after, just in the editing?
I'll let them in the editing, yeah, because
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a rough idea what kind of sounds we can use. They also have a synthwave
Mhm.
channel now, so they have they're French, but they have some pretty good music there, and the channel's pretty massive. They're very open about people using their audio. We just need to like add a link to their channel in the description.
Their channel.
And that's pretty much it. As long as you can like say like, hey, we've been using music from this channel, then we should be just fine.
Yeah.
And they're the biggest royalty-free YouTube channel when it comes to lo-fi music, at least. I mean, granted, lo-fi music is not for everyone. It can be very repetitive, but it's definitely something that we can use, to say the very least.
So I'm just altering my mic position so that I've got the mic above me rather than.
Ironically, you sound a lot better
away.
now. You sound a lot better now. Is that ironic?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest, because it's now pointing right at my face.
It's pretty much what I did. It's pretty close to like to my shoulders from the height, and pointed to my face, obviously. So yeah. So what was the rundown of the twat on Twitter then? So you was a bit butthurt about Iman Vellani, right? So that was the
yes. So it was completely her over the fact that someone was talking about or comparing two images, because all Anna did was said that Disney had done Vellani a disservice by making her look like a frumpy middle-aged housewife, which is true.
They did.
Especially considering when you look at her.
Yeah.
She's.
I mean, how old is she now?
My cup of tea. She's 21.
She's 21.
She's
okay.
21. Yeah. I wouldn't say she's my cup of tea,
right?
But she's certainly not ugly. She's not like She's not fucking rats.
No, by no means.
But certainly Disney have done their damnedest to make it appear that she is.
I mean, to be fair, Disney's going out of their way to make a lot of women look ugly. I mean, have you seen Tom Hiddleston's Missus in the movie?
Tom Hiddleston.
She's the villain. She's the villain of that movie.
Okay. No.
She's the villain in that movie. Gary jokingly calls her woman the accuser. I mean, she's Discount Ronan.
Okay. Yeah, Discount Ronan.
Or Ronan or whatever his name is. I keep forgetting the Guardian's name's villain, but yeah.
Yeah, Ronan the accuser.
Yeah. And they're not doing her a favor either, because she looks like she does look horrible in that movie, and the grills that she has in her mouth don't do her any favors either, because she looks like she's got buck teeth when her mouth's closed. So yeah.
Yes.
I mean, granted, Tom Hiddleston's Missus is not my cup of tea either, but you know what?
No.
There's a good reason we have different tastes. You know.
Yeah, everyone's got different tastes for different reasons.
100%. Yeah.
We wouldn't have survived as a fucking species if we all fucking liked the same fucking people.
Imagine we would all be the same, mate. Imagine.
Yeah.
How wild that would be.
See, the other thing that I'm taking the opportunity to do, guys. So just speaking out to the guys out on Twitter is, I haven't used this application too much, so I haven't gone through and really learn how to use it properly. So I can't see what half of the fucking buttons and shit do. I'm used to a degree with Photoshop,
right?
But this is why the first few drawing streams I did, I literally didn't paint, because I needed a freaking pencil. I could select a color.
Right.
Now I'm getting used to the fact that I can add layers into shit, but I don't know where the layers are on this particular application.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the advantage of doing two things at once.
So
So we
it's a
can.
learning experience in a
Oh
way.
yeah, yeah. So I can
Well,
delete this layer, and also we can start hovering over. Right, material. Ooh, so I don't know if you know anything about Clip Studio.
I have
So
the
Clip
application actually.
so
I've
Clip
got one free
Studio
month of that.
is what I hear a lot of people use to do comics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. Because when you come onto, let me drag this onto the screen that's being recorded. In fact, no, I can't. Fuck.
We
Because I'm capturing a
can
window.
blur that out maybe.
I'm capturing the window, so you'll be able to see it on Discord, but
Yeah, I
the
see it.
recording won't
I see it.
capture it. So on the
Mm-hmm.
left-hand side, you've got
Yeah,
the
I've seen
official
these tools before.
tutorials. Mate,
These tutorials are
that's
pretty
fucking.
good.
I didn't even know it existed.
Those
Didn't know it
tutorials are
existed until
pretty
now.
damn good, especially for beginners.
Yeah.
I
So this
mean,
is.
the application I'm using, which is Repaper Studio, which came with my tablet, doesn't have
Mm,
these kinds of tutorials, so it's kind of a
suck it and see.
plug in, well, yeah, suck it and see kind of situation, but it helps you getting used to your own style of drawing a little bit because you can use your own pencils or pens with a
Yep.
ring, and you can draw on paper, and the paper drawing gets translated onto the screen.
Oh,
But
right. So the rings have got accelerometers in, and they're capturing the position
yeah, it's a bit
and the
difficult if you
movement.
draw on paper because sometimes you have to apply a lot of pressure to it to actually recognize
Hmm.
the thing. But it is a marvelous tool to work with. I mean,
Gotcha.
if you've seen my main channel and the time lapse drawings that I've done on it, like the 2B one, that one took me about, not gonna lie, I think it was like 5 to 6 days, and I
Yeah.
had to manually paint like every single thing because the only downside to this application is you don't have like a bucket tool like on Paint, so you have
Yeah.
you have to kind of paint everything manually, which granted it is a pain in the ass to do, but it, it makes you appreciate the art piece a lot more once you're done with it, which is the main
Yeah,
reason
I
why I'm
bet.
doing this. And the thing is, I'm drawing for fun. It's not like I'm drawing to make money. You know, I'm just doing it for fun. I mean, you see, if you follow me on Twitter, for example, you may have stumbled across some of the drawings that I did from some of the people that I respect and I watch. For example, like
Yeah.
I've done a drawing of my nerdy home just recently. She's
Yeah, I
a,
saw that.
and I really enjoyed doing that because it's just a it's kind of like therapy to me because just enjoy drawing things and just see what how they translate on paper. And I think it's important that you can see like you can kind of see the emotion a little bit too because
Yeah.
you can put a lot of energy into it, and you can tell when somebody put a lot of effort into it or just half-assed it, you know.
Yeah.
I
Or
mean,
just
granted,
half-assed it.
what you yeah, just half-ass it. I mean, granted, the thing you will see on my recording later on is I'm just doing the pencil lines now for the so I have the foundation, and then
Hmm.
I'll have the next layer, which is going to be with kind of like a fine liner thing going on, where I will actually do the proper drawing and then just nuke the pencil layer. So the pencil layer is just my prep in a
Yeah,
way.
and that's exactly what I was just about to do with this. I was going to create a new layer,
Yeah,
and the first layer being basically the rough pencil
the rough
lines.
sketch, the rough sketch.
Yeah, just the really rough sketch.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, when it comes to looking at the layers where it's saying, do I need a new raster layer or a vector layer?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, what's the fucking difference between a raster layer and a vector layer?
Mhm.
I've got fucking no idea.
The
I'm gonna
raster is the vector is when you want to implement it into a background, I think. So it's like the you have the you know how you cut out the faces on paint and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So that's
Mhm.
the that's the difference, I think. But let me just raster and vector. While we're on stream, we might as well do some research. So raster
Yeah.
graphics are made up
Mhm.
of orderly arranged colored pixels to display any image, whereas
Okay.
vector graphics are composed of paths using a mathematical formula that is a vector that directs
Yeah.
the route and shape.
Yeah. So on the vector side, that's going to be scalable graphics,
Mhm.
because it uses the essentially lengths and lines and coordinates in order to
Yes.
scale whatever image.
Mhm.
Whereas rasterization is going to be the way ahead. Rasterization.
I
Right.
mean,
Okay. So yeah,
what
go
I
for
will
it,
do
man.
is I would because the good thing about this tablet is it can muster time lapse drawings, which is
Hmm.
my bread and butter. Apart from the gaming streams I'm doing and the music editing, of course. But the cool thing is I can show you the result in a process, and you can see like the steps that went into it. You can like see every single stroke that I'm doing on paper,
Yeah.
which is pretty rad. I mean, this pen that I'm using is a came with the tablet, which has like mines with it that simulate a pencil mine as well, and they degrade over time the longer you use them. So eventually
Yeah.
the tool will get blunt, and then I have to change the
The nib.
mines, the nib.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I wasn't aware of that, and I've been using that tablet for like 2 years at that point, and I was like, wow, okay, so my mine is getting shorter and shorter, and I don't have any replacement mines. Turns out, being the moron that I am sometimes, I actually threw away the replacement mines when I got the tablet because I thought they were just some junk that came with the pen.
Yep. Just on
So
mine. So in the back of the actual pen holder,
mhm. You're
there's
very
about
small.
eight.
If you
Yeah.
wanted to do full screen, you might want to.
Fucking. Oh,
There you go.
let's fucking select
That's
the
fine.
right fucking one.
Right.
Uh,
That's
so
it. Yeah.
there's a load of different nibs. So there's 8 nibs or so that I've got that came
Yeah.
with the device itself. So I think if if you used one for 2 years, I think I'm probably going to be good for the next 10.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, you have to remember as well. I have rough motorical skills in my hands, so it's
mhm.
actually quite surprising that I'm able to draw the way I do,
Yeah.
considering my motorical skills are very rough.
Yep.
And yeah, that's probably why I tend to go through pencils like crazy when I draw, because my the strokes that I'm doing are a bit more on the stronger side. That
Yep.
came out wrong, but you get what I mean. Um,
Aye.
so
So at the
it's
minute, I'm trying to bloody find the ability to make or to alter the size of um, the nib. Because at the minute, the size of the nib is huge. I don't
actually
want the
let me
pen that
open
big.
the application myself because I do own the application, so I can actually tell you. Just give me a second.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. It
Found it.
looks like I was on the paintbrush.
Yeah, you can change the
Dickhead.
tools that change the thickness as well. But let me open the application real quick so I can maybe tell you as well. So what are you using again? Clip Studio, right?
Yeah, Clip Studio Paint I'm using.
Right. Let me just
I,
check real quick.
I think it's because I was using the. Yeah, there we go. It was because I was using the paintbrush rather than
Right.
the actual drawing.
Which makes sense, yeah.
Pen.
If you
It was just the wrong tool.
if you've got subtools and all that stuff, right? Have you seen that? Because if
I
you have,
can't. Yeah, I can't
um
see the subtools.
if
Show
you
color set.
do you have like you should have options above the color wheel. where you can change the tip or the size of the tip when you use like a pen, for example.
Yeah. No, it's not coming up at the minute.
Okay, so what tool are you using again? A brush, right?
So I'm on the pen currently.
You're on the pen.
Um,
Okay.
so I've got the color wheel, which is
Right.
fine. So the color wheel, obviously, I can that
Hmm.
that can be moved around. The next one is the color history, then the approximate color, and then
Right.
the intermediate color. So that's only showing me stuff with colors.
So if you have the options with the hand and the cubes and all that stuff, right? On the left hand side.
Yes.
There should be the drip and the or the bucket. Do you see the bucket by chance?
I
me
can
see if
see
I
the
c-
fill.
You see the fill, yeah.
Yep.
Let me just pull up your stream real quick so I can see. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's on
So above
this
that,
side.
there is, above the bucket, you have more tools available. There's a, I think it's the let's see, what do we have here? Flow, blend, eraser, decorations, and airbrush. Do you have that?
Yes.
Okay. So if you go a bit higher up, you've got the brush, the pencil, and the pen.
Yes.
If you go like take the pen for example, click on that.
Mm-hmm.
You should
Yep.
be so you got that selected. Okay. So I don't see
Yep.
any options for you to pick like what kind of pen you want to use.
And that's the problem. That's the problem that we've got. So
yeah.
that's the option I'm looking for at the minute, because I would have expected on this side, just above where the color palette is.
Do you have
to
the pro
see-
version of the app?
Yeah. I've
Okay.
got the pro version.
You might have to download the tools. You might have to download them because there is actually an option where you have to download the tools for that. And that might be the reason why you don't see it.
I wonder if I can reset the kind of like the view, as it were.
Yeah.
Reset display. Right, so that's reset that side. So I wonder if it's something stupid in here. Object
Chances
launcher.
are you might have just switched it off by accident.
Yeah,
That's what I'm assuming.
That's exactly what I'm thinking as well, Matt. Color profile, so it's not in there. So window, canvas, workspace.
Yeah, I think
reset
it's the
to default.
workspace. Yeah. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Fucking million and one
Perfect.
options. That's what I'm after. Cool.
Perfect.
Happy days.
Good thing I know I
Right.
have the application that can help guide you through it. I mean,
Happy
granted, I
fucking
don't
days,
use it that much, but it's actually a very good tool to draw on. And I feel like the animation that you can do with that, and especially the drawings that come out of it, look a lot cleaner as well compared to like other apps that I've used before. I mean, I'm not fucking Pablo Picasso over here, but I know a thing or two about drawing since I did it as a kid. I never studied art or anything like that, but I just used to like draw my own characters when I was a kid. I did like an orc scientist or something like that because I used to like the original orc designs for World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed those, or the ones from Warcraft 3. And I just took like the frame of the official drawings and just created my own characters with that. I mean, granted, it's not the most skill based thing to do because it's pretty much like tracing what I did, but I feel like it made me appreciate how much time the creators of the art pieces actually put into their own creations.
The professionals.
The professionals, and it is a difference if you draw yourself or someone else does it, but you can appreciate the artistry on display in a way,
Oh, 100%. 100%.
That's the most important part, I think, because a lot of people underestimate how much time and effort it actually is to do this,
Yeah, I mean, I did. So I did art. The last time I did art properly was probably GCSEs.
Right.
Um, so I did art at secondary school,
Mm-hmm.
but I never really did anything after that point. Now, obviously, to my detriment, I should have done because I used to enjoy doing it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Used to enjoy um, just replicating things. So I'm not one of those people that can think of something in my head and then draw it. I'm
No,
more of
no.
those I can see something and I can reproduce it.
Yeah.
So
I find it
that's
even crazier when you have people who saw one landscape, for example,
yeah,
and they have that photographic memory of it, and they can actually recreate it on paper.
hmm
It is insane.
yeah, absolute fucking craziness. Some people's ability to do it, especially
Yeah,
that chap, that colored lad who's able to look at the New York skyline and then he just boof one helicopter ride and then he just draws it out on a board.
yeah, that
Every
that
single
guy's
little bit of
insane,
detail.
but in a good
Yep.
way, you know.
Oh yeah, massive.
I appreciate that kind of artistry because it takes a lot of time and effort to do that. Or
Oh
someone just or there's some guy who looks at like city skylines and just draws the skyline from the perspective he was at
yeah.
at home, and I'm like, wow. I'm always admiring like people who can do that, you know.
So at the minute, I'm also using this opportunity to figure out what these fucking buttons do as well. So I've
It's all a
come to the
part of the process,
conclusion.
mate.
I've come to the conclusion that that one's save, that one's delete the last.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that one is fine tune how much I'm zooming in.
You don't forget you can change the size of the tip that you
Yep.
can draw with. I think the smallest is 0.5 or something like that with the pen.
Yeah. So this one's stepping through the different tools. So that one's stepping through those tools.
So
This
what
one's
what you're going to see on my screen is I've got the pencil currently as my main drawing tool.
yep.
It's set to stroke smoothing medium. The size of the tip is 20 millimeters,
Yeah.
0.20 millimeters, and the hardness is HB. So it's like the normal regular pencil that you can buy,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much all you need really. And yeah, that's what I'm just using.
Yep.
So yeah, that's
That should
that's
be
pretty
that one.
much
That
it.
one. Cool. Happy
Yeah, no,
days.
I just enjoy having some company after work and winding down from a long day, and just do something fun and creative, you know. Because I mean, let's face it. When do
Yeah.
you ever have time to just sit down, have a chat with one of your mates, and just do this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
You don't
fucking
really do
chill
that.
out. You just don't do it.
No.
I certainly don't fucking do it. I don't do it enough, and it's stuff that we should all, chat included. Everyone should be just taking the opportunity to just spend some time chilling out and
Yes.
just chew the fat. Just chew the fat whilst we do daft things like drawing on stream or spending time just having a laugh,
Yeah.
discussing this, thinking about ideas of what you can draw. Um, we
I
just don't
mean,
do it. We just don't do it anymore.
we love to spend time on things that we enjoy doing. That's normally what
Yeah.
we should do, right? But I think in the last few years, people just forgot what it's like to just, bloody hell, what's the what I'm thinking of right now? People just forgot what it's like to just focus on the simple things, like
Yeah.
just do the things you love, and also that bring you joy and help you calm down after a long day. Because granted, I love playing video games, I love hanging out in chats and everything, but nothing beats a good session of just putting a pen to paper and just create.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't have an outlet like that to just use that and just to their advantage. And for me, it's just a different form of stress relief, because I can go to the gym and do something there. It is very fulfilling, but at the end of the day, it's also nice to just sit down and technically do nothing, but also occupying your mind a little bit with something else that distracts you from otherworldly shenanigans, to say the least.
Yeah. Yep. I know exactly what you mean, mate. I know exactly what you mean.
And it's I think it's very important that people have an outlet like that, because if you don't have an outlet, you will stress yourself out really, really badly.
Yeah,
And
I don't think people really appreciate it anymore. Not like we did when we were kids, where we would have the ability to just chill out. I mean, when was the last time um, that you saw kids going off to say play in the forest or something
right,
stupid like that, making bows and arrows and then going shooting freaking arrows at each other in the fucking forest? Uh, when I was a kid, our houses all backed onto a massive military range, big massive
hmm
open forest. You couldn't keep us in the house. You really
yeah,
couldn't. Even when it was pissing down, we were out doing stuff, climbing trees, getting up to no good,
yep.
um, and just generally just nowadays
Being
just
kids,
don't,
you
you
just
just don't get it.
being kids. And I feel like nowadays, parents are a bit too overprotective of their kids,
Yeah,
in a sense, because they don't want their children to get dirty, or go out and explore the world. I mean, granted, it really depends on where you live. If you live in an area where it's known that you have scumbags running around and doing stupid shit, I wouldn't want my kid to run around all the fucking time. But
yeah,
I think it's part of the experience as a kid to have this childlike wonder still, and actually go out and explore the world.
yeah,
I mean, for us kids, it used to be a very exciting adventure, just going outside and then find a random stick in the woods and say like, yeah, this is like for me, for example, I found a massive stick which was like 3 times the height of me. It's like, yeah, this is Gandalf's walking stick.
yeah, yeah,
And I just carried it around with me, pretending that this belonged to Gandalf, which is pretty silly because I was like, I don't know, 11, 12 or something like that. But even
yeah,
before that, I
yeah.
just
Even
enjoyed
even
being
before
outside.
that,
You know, I just
and this
enjoy
is the
being outside.
thing.
Yeah.
I think we've basically had a very similar child and upbringing in as much as I used to enjoy being outside. I really
Oh,
hated being
absolutely.
indoors at all. I fucking hated it. I mean, fucking keep me in the house. It felt like a fucking prison. So the
It felt
more I
like
could get out the
punishment,
house
kind
and
of.
escape, yeah,
Yeah.
and you're not wrong. That's what it did feel like. Felt like fucking. It did feel like punishment ultimately, which is
I feel
why
like
most of us as
you've been
kids,
grounded, right?
yeah,
It,
fucking grounded. There's a fucking concept that fucking children these days don't fucking understand.
yeah, because they start filming themselves on social media and then cry about how their parents have grounded them.
Yeah, child abuse.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently it's all child abuse. You're not allowed to fucking chastise your children anymore.
I don't know if
Heaven
you
forbid.
know this chap, but I mean, granted, it's not that long ago that France actually had a law that allowed their parents to slap their children's asses. But just about, I think it was 2017 or 18, they changed that law, so they're not allowed to spank their children's butts anymore. It
Yeah,
was
see,
fairly it
they
was fairly recently.
they took that away from parents in the UK
Mm.
um, quite
That
some
was
time ago, and
fairly
it was
that was like the 90s, right? Where they took that
yeah,
away.
and it coincided with when the first child divorced their parents.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. how the fuck that a child was given the ability to fucking divorce their parents, I fucking don't know.
That's beyond me,
Fucking
mate.
absolutely don't know.
That's beyond
Yeah.
me.
Yep.
I have no fucking
Fucking
clue.
absolutely fucking slays me, to be honest, mate.
It blows my
Absolutely
mind
fucking
how that.
slays me.
And if you look at children's rights these days, that child probably laughed his ass off and he was like, "Huh, I dodged a fucking bullet there."
Yeah. Absolutely dodged a bullet, and I bet he's a right little fucking cunt now.
Yep.
I bet he's a fucking uppity little cunt now, and I bet the hind legs off a dozen donkeys that he's absolute fucking scum. He probably thinks the world fucking still owes him something, which is why this shit happens in the fucking first place.
I mean, look at the generations we're encountering now. I'm 33. I'm still fairly young. I've only spent like 33 years on this godforsaken planet. But the kind of shit that I'm witnessing as we speak, like the attitude of the children, the sheer fucking entitlement as well that some of the kids have these days, it boggles my mind. Like how they think they get away with stuff like that, like being complete and utter pricks and not expecting any consequences out of that, breaking private property, gluing themselves on the fucking roads to protest for fossil fuel. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, it doesn't make it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
How dare you?
It's just like someone. I don't know if that clip was real or not, but there's a clip circulating of Greta Thunberg basically saying that women should get rid of their vibrators and instead ask their friends to finger them because batteries are bad. I have no idea if that clip is true. If it isn't, then please correct me in the chat.
Fucking unreal if that is true.
It's fucking unreal if that's true. And that coming from Greta Thunberg of all people as well. That's even more funnier, I think.
Yeah. Oh, fucking Captain Fingerblast herself.
Captain Special.
Yeah. Fucking Captain fucking Fingerblast. She's such a fucking arsehole.
I mean, granted,
especially considering that she's clearly running around in what was it? She was sailing around the world. But clearly had loads of fuel, loads of kind of like powered yachts following her. Completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Hypocritical of what she was.
Oblivious. She was kind of oblivious to what she was actually spewing, and then what she actually actually does herself. Like the message and the output doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't. It never did. And the problem is that fucking there she is dictating how everyone else should fucking live their lives, but she didn't fucking believe her own fucking press. She didn't believe that she should be doing exactly the same thing, and you wouldn't be able to pick her up and say, "Oh, Greta, by the way, you're just as bad."
Yeah.
How dare you?
It's the same.
You'll be fucking laughed out the room.
She tried to cause a stink with the Deutsche Bahn, the German train service, a while ago when she was sitting in a first-class compartment on the train on the ground, and she was like, and she was exposed for actually posing for that or prepping a photo op of sense, in a sense, and it's just dumb, because people catch on to that kind of shit, and don't think the internet or people forget. Oh no, they don't.
Fucking internet is forever.
The internet is forever, guys. Also remember that. Even if you send a dick pic to someone or upload it to the internet, it's there forever.
Yep. It is indeed.
And that's the thing. People forget that whatever they said can be archived in one way or another. The Wayback Machine is there for a reason, guys. You can find a lot of things if you're willing to look for them. Speaking of looking for things, I'm also getting fucking fed up with people going back like years in people's internet history, trying to find something to cancel them over.
Yeah.
Granted, we all said some dumb shit on the internet. We all did. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Even the ones who tried to cancel you said some dumb shit on the internet. They all claim they're high and mighty, and they wouldn't even entertain the idea of actually doing such a horrendous thing. But let's be honest here, guys. And I'm not being hyperbolic or anything, but some of us have been edgy on the internet when we were younger, and some weren't. I mean, granted, I said some things about rap music where I was like, well, I'm getting fed up with people saying the N-word all the time. You know, I even said that, and that was on when MySpace was a thing. So yeah, RIP to that side. And yeah, I mean, people have to remember that people can use that against you eventually if you're not careful enough. Should it be used against you to cancel you? I don't think so. No. Then again, if it exposes you for being an absolute scumbag when you were one before, it just gives people even more of a reason to avoid and hate you.
Yep.
And I think that the irony of that doesn't always come to the people who should be very fucking careful about what they say on the internet. Because people always scream like, oh, racism, racism, racism.
Racism in gaming.
Racism in gaming and all that crap, right? I bet you half of these people have been playing at least one Call of Duty game in the past. Would they survive a Modern Warfare 2 lobby? Hell no. Hell no. The kind of shit they flung at each other in those lobbies? Pooh, Jesus, mate. That would make the average proper racist blush. That's how bad it was.
Ultimately, guys, just be careful what you say on the internet. If you don't want it to come back and bite you in the ass, you pretty much shouldn't be saying it. Now,
here's an idea. Here's an idea. If you compose a tweet or a message to someone, yeah, take a good look at it before you send it. Then ask yourself, is it actually worth putting that out into the world? Because like I said, guys, the internet remembers.
Yeah, one of the things that I would turn around and say is, guys, think about what your grandmother or think about what your nan might think of that message. Try and explain it to your nan how that message makes sense. And I can guarantee in the course of you trying to explain it to that person, you'll come to the conclusion that you shouldn't be fucking saying it. Or you shouldn't be fucking sending it.
I stand by what I say on the internet because I'm just being me, you know. And if I don't want something out there, I just don't say it.
Yeah,
Easy as
same.
that. Easy as that.
I've got no qualms with saying what I need to say on the internet. Usually, everything that I do say is for a reason, is for a purpose. I've got no problem with it coming back. I've got no problem with defending it either. That's the thing.
See, the difference is between between the two of us and the average internet person is we tend to think about the actions pay consequences, and also we want to be as real as possible, you know. And I think the problem is a lot of people are tiptoeing around themselves a lot because they don't want to offend anybody. You know what you remember the time like in the early 2000s when everything was fine and dandy in the world, or so it seemed, and you could actually just say something and get away with it?
Yep.
Put blackface on and just make a joke of it.
Yep.
Nowadays everything is racist.
Yeah,
everything is sexist. And you know who we have to thank for that partially as well for that phrase? Anita Sarkeesian of all people. She said She said verbatim, everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you need to call it all out. That's
Yep.
been on the main agenda for a lot of leftist outlets out there, and they constantly feel like they have to point it out because Mommy Anita said so. And look where it brought Anita.
Mommy Anita.
Feminist frequency has gone bankrupt. Why?
Yeah.
Because she kept on stealing money from people and never fulfilled any of the goals that she promised to people.
Yep.
And that's the be all
That's
end
the
all
nuts
of
and
it.
bolts of it. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the nuts and bolts out of it. She was a fucking liar.
Yep, she was grifting money out of people's pockets for years, and
Yep.
very successful. I might add.
Certainly not. Fucking unsuccessful at the grift.
No,
Far from it. I mean, really
her
successful.
her influence to the gaming industry is very strong still.
Yep. Even though she's a prick.
Yeah, I mean, we have to thank her for the shittiest game that came out in Jesus Christ, when did Last of Us 2 came out? Jesus Christ. Me going on a tangent and not doing any fucking research, yeah. Color me surprised. Last of Us Part 2. Color me surprised. 2020. That was 2020. The game came out. And who was on the writing staff? And it was Neil Druckmann, who explicitly said that Anita Sarkeesian told him to change things in the game. He actively said that. He went out of his way to give her credit indirectly.
Yeah.
But you have to remember as well, there was also a writer of Westworld on the writing staff for that game. And she said that she hated men. Kind of ironic because that's modern Hollywood for you.
Yeah,
she was responsible for writing everything from Westworld from season 2 onwards. Shocker, right? She even openly said in an interview that she hated Joel.
Really?
Yep, she said that. She said that in an interview some time ago. I can't even remember where it was. I think it was IGN or something. She even openly admitted that she hated Joel, the protagonist of the first game. And she even said that he should have paid the price for his actions.
He should have paid the price.
I mean, granted,
for his actions, for fuck's sake.
I mean, granted, Joel killed a lot of people, but he did that to protect Ellie. And people should consider that as well. I mean, if Ellie would have been your daughter, you probably would have done the same fucking thing. And Ellie, it wasn't even Joel's daughter.
Oh, fuck yeah.
She wasn't even his daughter.
I
mean, I don't know how well versed you are with the first game, but it is spoilers. Joel goes into a hospital to kill a lot of people to rescue Ellie from being murdered for a sacrifice of a vaccine that could potentially cure people from the fungus, but it's not 100% certain. So Joel was like adding 2 and 2 together and say like, well, fuck it. Well, fuck, she's gonna die. And actually grow to care for her a lot. And they kind of given her no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
They told her about the birds and the bees, but they never gave her the full truth of what her sacrifice actually means. Yeah. Kind of ironic. But you can't have father figures or male role models in media anymore because why would anybody care about that, right?
Nope. Not allowed it.
No,
it's not
anymore.
allowed.
I mean, have you heard the recent news about the Fantastic Four?
Oh, what? Fucking Pedro Pascal?
Yes. Well, I mean, Gary called it bunk. I don't believe it either because that would be too predictable.
The thing is that it's only what's the word? It's only early discussions.
Well, yeah, it's just ideas being flung around, you know. That's the thing. I always take these reports with a grain of salt because maybe Disney's just throwing names out there to see how the people react on the internet. Because that's
I think that's
spoilers. That's what
I
they've
think
been
that's what
doing
it
for
is.
years. They've
Yeah,
been doing that for years.
I think that's what it is. I think it's just a case of let's see what kind of reaction we can get.
It's the same thing. I don't know if you heard the thing that they were hypothetically thinking about bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson as Iron Man
Yeah,
and Black Widow. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same fucking thing.
the thing is they know full well that they can't do that. They know full well that they can't do that.
Yeah, because they would admit defeat. Because
Yeah.
that would be admission that all this shit in the past 3 years has been complete
Has
and utter garbage.
Yeah,
And that nothing worked. And Disney admitting failure? Phew,
yeah.
that's a hard sale, even for Bob
That's a
Iger.
hard sell. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
No. Well, I mean, Disney is the embodiment of the absolutely fucking not scene from Wolf of Wall Street. they're basically Leonardo DiCaprio in that scene of Wolf of Wall Street, where he's saying
Yeah.
absolutely fucking not. And that's what Disney is. They are the Wolf of Wall Street, but in a very different way. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of nuts seeing Disney turn so badly in the and failing so badly in the last few years as well. Because I used to think that Disney could do no wrong. I used to be one of those people a couple of years ago, and then nowadays I'm like, yeah, well,
Fuck them.
fuck them, yeah,
As harsh as it is, fuck them.
yeah, fuck them.
Fuck them. Fuck it.
I mean, the thing
They can
is,
suck a dick.
they can, yeah, that's that too. But the thing is, Disney burned a lot of bridges in the last few years with a lot of people, especially families. And
The thing is that they believed that they were too big to fail.
yep,
That's the thing.
that's the biggest mistake they've ever did.
They were under this
they could do
misguided.
no wrong.
Yep, that they could dictate what people wanted to watch. And
Imagine
no.
that, right? Imagine that.
yeah, I know. Tell me about it. It's the fact that no, actually, tell a lie, guys. You can't fucking tell us what we want to fucking watch.
I mean,
I mean,
nobody should be able to dictate people what to watch. I mean, if you have to like audit your viewers or audience, let's call it audience because that's what they are. If you have to audit your audience to tell them what they should be doing,
yeah,
you're already doing something wrong.
you're already onto a loser at that
Yeah.
point. You're already losing.
I mean, you destroy beloved properties, turn them into a former shell of itself. I mean, look at Toy Story. I think Toy Story was the
Yeah.
beginning of all of it, really, because Toy Story 4 came out and everybody was like, "What the fuck is this? This is not the Toy Story we know and love."
Nope.
And
It
that
wasn't Toy Story.
It wasn't. No,
It wasn't Toy Story. That's for sure.
I mean, the fact that they retcon, what's her face, the ginger cowboy,
Jessie.
Jessie, that they retcon the relationship between Jessie and Woody, or with Porcelain. Was that the chick's name with the umbrella?
Belle.
Belle, yeah. I think that was
It's Bo Peep, wasn't it?
Bo Peep, yeah.
Little Bo Peep, even.
Yep. They retconned that. They had to retcon a lot of things to make them work as a couple, and then she just leaves without him, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, really?
Yep.
And then you have the
Don't
old
need
cast
no
just appearing
man.
for 10 minutes in the movie, and it's like, what the fuck? Like that's all you get from the old cast. That's how you respect your old cast. That's just fucking retarded. Pardon my French, chat, but seriously, it is stupid.
Yeah, massively.
And the fact that Tim Allen had to be replaced as Buzz Lightyear years later because of common sense takes.
Yep.
I bet Tom Hanks had something to do with that too.
Of course he did. Fucking Captain Epstein's Island.
Yep. He's always pretending to be high and mighty, doesn't he?
Yeah,
And
likes to dictate.
people like Tom Hanks a lot. I used to.
Yep.
Used to do. But until
Once
I found
upon a
out
time.
what kind of nonce he really is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
once
all
upon a
speculation,
time.
guys. I'm not saying that he is actually a nonce, but the evidence speaks for itself. Let's just put it that
Yeah.
way. But yeah,
The evidence
it's
does speak for itself.
it's like Ricky Gervais said: go on stage, thank you God, thank you agent, then fuck off, and don't lecture the fucking audience.
Take your award and fuck off.
Yep, it's that simple.
Yeah. Who do they think they are? They don't live in the real world, and that was his whole point.
Yep.
They don't live in the real world. Even Ricky Gervais doesn't live in the real world.
Yep. I mean, I think Ricky
His
Gervais
damn
is
sight more fucking closest to it, but even
the
Ricky
kicker is,
Gervais.
the kicker is Ricky Gervais seems rather grounded compared to some of these nut jobs.
Oh fuck yeah, definitely.
Very, very fucking grounded, and he knows where he comes from with his success, and that's why he can speak his mind like he does.
Yeah.
Is he always right? Not really, no. But he produces things where his audience is like, yeah, I can actually relate to that.
Yep.
I mean, have you seen Afterlife, the show that he did for Netflix, where his wife passes away and leaves him a video message?
Yeah.
I used to think like, wow, this sounds dumb on paper. Just reading the synopsis, and I actually watched it. And I was like fairly impressed because it was like pretty I wouldn't say grounded, but it was surprisingly emotional for something that he wrote and co-wrote and produced. You know,
Yeah.
because you used to think that Ricky Gervais is the funny guy from The Office, dry British humor and all that stuff, but actually it's a very interesting depiction of grief that he's portraying there. Because a lot of people, I mean, I'm not saying that people use that as an excuse to be an asshole or anything, but it is a very accurate description of how some people just go through life when they just lost someone.
Yeah.
And that's why it just struck me so hard, because I can kind of see it with how my dad used to be when my grandmother died, because fairly early in my life, and it really changed my dad a little bit too. I was, I think, 12 when she died, but I do remember very, very, very well how he felt, because he felt really bad that he couldn't be there, and he had to like get time off to actually go to the funeral, which is fucking horrendous that you actually have to ask your boss to get unpaid leave to go to the funeral of a relative.
Yeah, no one should have to worry about shit at that point in time, do they?
Yeah,
Shouldn't have to worry about it.
I mean, that around that time, my dad was the only family member who provided. You know, that was one of those times. You know, because my mom was still looking after me because I was still in school.
Yep.
And yeah, that was really, really bad for him. And I would have dreaded how it would have been if he wouldn't have been able to actually go to the funeral. He probably would have been ridden with guilt ever since if he wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
And that's not what a son should be doing, you know, or generally the child, you know. And I think I'm pretty happy that my dad actually showed his vulnerable side on around that time as well, because he kept on telling me, it's kind of ironic really, but my dad used to tell me like, yeah, boys don't cry, man up a little, and all that shit, but deep down he was exactly the opposite of what he told me. So yeah. It was very eye opening for me, because he always put on the brave face, right?
Yeah.
But there was one point in time, I think it was like 4 or 5 years later, where I actually called out my dad on it. I was like, So about that part of not crying and all that. That was a bunch of bollocks, wasn't it? And he just turned around and looked at me like, huh? And because he completely forgot that he actually told me that men don't cry, you know. Granted, because there's always this myth that men have to always be emotionally strong and always have to have the mental fortitude and all that stuff. But let me tell you something, especially the men in our audience. Some of you will probably be screaming at me in the premiere chat and saying like, "Yeah, Smooth, you're dumb" and all that stuff. But hear me out. It is okay to cry. It is actually very important to do so because it helps you process your emotions a little bit and keep yourself in check. And you don't always have to put on a brave face every single time. I did that mistake a long time ago. That I used to think that I'm not allowed to cry, and I bottled up a lot of emotions until I got to a point where I was that emotionally frustrated that it just came out like out of nowhere. That I started bursting out into tears because of the most random fucking thing back then. That didn't have anything to do with the situation where I bottled up my emotions. It is fucking silly, really, but you know, like I said, it's okay to cry.
There's nothing wrong with having emotion, guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Albeit I'm not one that has a great emotional range. But don't bottle shit up.
Mate. A lot of us
don't.
don't.
Yeah, just don't bottle shit up for the sake of it.
Yeah, it's important to have an outlet and actually communicate your emotions as well, because that's another part where that's another part though, because sometimes men and women start arguing about things, and then women start to accuse men of not showing their emotions enough, or don't tell them their significant other how they actually feel, right?
Yep.
And that's a key component, to be honest to your partner. I mean, hell, it took me a long time to actually figure that shit out. And nowadays I'm laughing at myself because I'm like, wow, you used to be very, very pathetic to think that that you have to always be like the badass who never cries and just provides a strong shoulder for my partner, you know. Yep. It is pretty important to what was I supposed to say? Lost my train of thought. To, you know, be able to actually show a hint of emotion towards your partner, and not show that you're actually dead inside.
Yeah,
because
no, I totally agree with you.
And even if you think it's pathetic to cry in front of your significant other, let me tell you this: there's nothing more honest and raw than actually cry in front of your partner. It's, apart from, like, I don't know, maybe proposing to your significant other, or say like I love you, or having something physical, you know. And I think, especially nowadays, when I look at like media, or generally how men and women are portrayed, let's put it that way. There's always this cold distance between characters these days, and it makes me sad because I miss when characters used to have proper relationships. You know, and we don't get it that often anymore. That we have like couples that we're rooting for in media nowadays, because everybody has to be lesbian or promiscuous and all that stuff, and it pisses me off a little bit.
Well, the thing is that when we were younger,
right,
the main, I would say, the main societally accepted family unit was mum, dad, 2 kids, the nuclear family.
100%, yes.
And it would be a stable family. And nowadays, it's all about destroying what essentially was that view.
Yeah,
TV, media,
actively
films,
destroying.
actively destroying all of it as quickly as they can do as well.
Yep.
It's not even just a small amount; they're actively doing it as quickly as they can do. Destroy any form of normality that we used to have.
Man, I miss those days.
In aid of what? In aid of what? And this is what I can't understand. What is all this in aid of?
To
I
make
can't
a
understand what
sexless
the end goal
society?
is.
To make a
Yeah.
sexless society where everybody hates the guts? I don't know. But that brings me back to an original point that I made in the other stream with you just recently. I think it was the Solasta stream as well. Do you remember when I pointed out the ad problem in the UK?
Yeah. Yep.
That's exactly one way of diverting that old family model, because you always see these interracial couples in UK adverts. And then they did a survey, like I think it was like 2 years later. I think it was in 2019, 2020, 21. I don't know even know anymore. But they made like a survey in the UK. If the UK public feels like that the adverts are actually accurate to how UK families actually live together. I mean, granted, I can only speak for that advert because, or for the survey, because it turned out that the majority of people said that these adverts are a bunch of nonsense and that it's not actually an accurate representation of the average family in the UK. I mean, granted, you have the odd mixed race couple every once in a while who has like a mixed race child and all that stuff. I don't fucking care about a race. Neither should you. That's the gist. The gist of it. But yeah, it was like I think 70% of people who partook in the survey. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it was 60-70% said that most of the ads in the UK are inaccurate. And it's fucking mental.
Absolutely, and that's fucking crazy.
And it would drive me insane. I mean, every once in a while, I see my parents like watch English TV because we have the luxury of having satellite TV, so we get some of the free channels at least. And sometimes I'm being exposed to the adverts that are being played on ITV or whatever the fuck they're watching right at that very moment. But I mean, we are on the internet, and we're being exposed to that kind of stuff on a regular basis.
Yep.
We're being told that the new normal is that one child or two children have different parents, ironically enough, or different dads. If you go with the girls, for example, and a lesbian mom with another lesbian moms.
Lesbian nana.
Lesbian nana, yeah, that's one way of putting it. And also the romanticizing of being single and just being able to fuck around and fuck whoever you want, which is being romanticized as well, which really annoys me, especially because this kind of mindset actually kind of ruined dating in a way. Because
it's the whatever podcast, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's
100%.
The whatever podcast has got a fucking lot to answer for, and it's the likes of some of those individuals, and you think the people that go on those streams, how can they really take themselves fucking seriously? How can these and blokes are no fucking better. Yep. But you got some of these women who think they're fucking 10s, and you look at them, and they're like, you look like a fucking chewed up fucking flip-flop. How the fuck can you be a 10? How can you be so deluded that you think you're a 10? Or deluded that you think you've got such high value in a relationship where you don't contribute anything. You're expecting a man to have a 6-figure salary and to keep the roof over your head and keep you in your fucking Birkenstocks or your fucking Gucci fucking jeans or whatever.
Yep.
These fucking women, and to be honest, a lot of the lads as well these days,
yeah,
all fucking delusional, all fucking delusional.
But the problem is the promiscuity is being promoted as the new normal these days.
It's the new norm to destroy, and this is why you're seeing the destruction of all of the heroes that we had. Indiana Jones, Han Solo, all being labeled and destroyed in the various different medias. Fuck, I want to do that. All being destroyed in the various different programs that we've all enjoyed for years. Why?
I mean, look at Willow.
They don't. Yeah. They just don't want it to be the norm.
I mean,
they don't want to have
you expect
successful
from people?
fucking families.
Yeah,
what
do you expect from people?
Families.
Yeah. What do you expect from people who didn't grow up in stable homes themselves, who probably have had one parent growing up, the other parent probably buggered off, because that's the cliche that you tend to hear when these authors talk about their lives. You always hear the same fucking thing about these people. One, a single parent household, no father figure most of the time, which is kind of a cliche too, especially with the African American communities in the US, for example.
Yep.
And then you have the lack of accountability as well. Not being told no when something is not going their way. That's also another issue. That's another issue too.
You can't say no to these people.
No, because they freak the fuck out when you show them when you show them the actual fucking reality of things. Yeah. They can't grasp it. They cannot fucking grasp it, mate. It is disgusting.
Yeah,
it is fucking disgusting. And I feel like, I mean, granted, I mean, you had a different upbringing compared to me probably when it comes to like how things used to be when you were a child compared to like me in the 90s, because let's face it, guys, Tombi and I are very different, have a very high age gap between the two of us, but our mindsets are pretty similar in a lot of things, despite our different times of upbringing.
I mean, technically we are a generation apart. In fact, I think we are a generation and a half, if not two.
Yeah.
But there's certain things we've learned from our parents or the morals we've been brought up with that are bang on, perfectly aligned.
Yes. I often feel like, even though it's a cliche, I often feel like I was born in the wrong time.
Yep.
Especially with the mindset that I have with certain things in how society works. I probably would have been better off being born and raised in the 70s or early 80s, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts.
I know what you mean by that. I know exactly what you mean there.
Even some people, some of my friends used to make fun of me, like, you'll cunt, you know? Because they thought like they were talking to like a 40-year-old who's actually 20, you know? It's kind of funny. And the interesting thing is the evolution that I went through in the last 10 years, I would say. I used to have a very different outlook on life. I used to think like, if I don't have a partner by the end of my 20s, I will be sad and lonely for the rest of my life. And the thing is, I don't necessarily see it that way anymore. I used to put myself under a lot of pressure when I was young. Like, I need to find a girlfriend and yada, yada, yada. Granted, it would have been ideal if I had one. Sure, yeah. And I had a long relationship in my early 20s. I think I met my first long-term relationship, or my first girlfriend that I spent a lot of time with when I was 24.
Yeah.
And we were together for almost... Wait, no, that's actually... Is it? Oh, yeah, it is actually right. We were together for 6 years, 6.5 years, nearly.
Yeah.
So yeah, the thing was, we met in a pub, of all things,
Oh,
back then.
you're not allowed to say things like that, Smooth.
Why? Meeting people in the normal way? How dare you?
Yeah. Heaven forbid
Yeah.
you should have social life.
Imagine having a life, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking Jesus.
Yeah,
It's
and the
almost
thing
like
is,
swearing, isn't it?
yeah, it's kind of nuts, isn't it? But yeah, the thing is, interestingly enough, we got chatting about because she was venting about her teachers back in the day and how terrible they are, and I was like, so what school do you go to? And then the coin just dropped because we actually went to the same school. We actually lived
Yeah.
in almost the same street. I think I've told the story before, but it's still kind of funny to this day to really think about it and looking back at it. Because I was so oblivious to the fact that I actually struck a conversation with a girl and I wasn't actually nervous about it for once. Because I used to be sweating bullets when I talked to women. I
Oh,
was
fuck yeah.
because my dad dropped this mindset on me like you won't want to fuck it up with a woman if you talk to her. Just be you. That's what he used to say to me. Just be you and don't change yourself just because you want to get together with her. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that's easy for you to say because you're not in my shoes in that situation. And yeah, fatherly advice, very mythical sometimes, but I got what he meant in the end.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
It's quality advice. I mean,
100%. Yeah,
he's not wrong.
he wasn't wrong.
What
No,
it's what I said to it's what I said to my son before. It's like, um, just because you want to be in a relationship doesn't mean you have to be in one. Just
100%.
things will
Yeah,
happen. Things will just you'll go around a corner one day and you'll say hello to someone and then that's it. Next thing you know, you're fucking married.
yeah.
Um, this shit just fucking comes out of nowhere.
It is.
It
It is
does come out
surprising
of
how
fucking
funny
nowhere.
life works in funny ways, guys. That's the gist of it. And yeah, I used to put myself on a lot of pressure because I was usually the third wheel when it came to my friend's circle, because everyone in my friend's circle was in. I had a relationship going on, and I was the only one who wasn't. Right, I was like this lone loser kind of guy, in a way. And yeah, it took me quite some time to actually realize that it doesn't really matter if you are in a relationship or not, but it's the experiences that you have in life that enrich your life a little bit too. You know,
Yeah,
make it more. I would say um, worth experiencing. You know.
and one of the things that I was going to pick up on there
Mm.
is, guys, if you do find yourself a partner and it's serious and things like that, great,
Mm.
fantastic.
Yes.
Whatever you do, don't burn the bridges of your friends.
Yes.
Um, don't lose contact with them because at the end of the day, relationships come and go. But most people that have, especially childhood friends,
One
most
hundred
people that
percent.
have childhood friends that survive these childhoods that survive up until you're in your teens and then you're going into your early 20s, those relationships will last a lifetime.
Can confirm.
Don't
I have a
burn
friend. Oh, sorry, continue.
I was going to say, don't burn your bridges.
Mm.
Never burn your bridges, guys.
Yeah, 100%. I can. I'm the living proof of that because one of my best friends I met in preschool. Of all places, I was like, I think 5 or 6, and
Yep.
he's got his birthday one day after you, so I can actually remember this pretty well, and that's an interesting bridge when you really think about it because this is part of your birthday celebration that we're doing here, in a way, right?
Yep.
So it's kind of funny because I've been friends with that guy for right. He's gonna turn to 33 himself, so it's 28 years we've known each other. It's kind of nuts,
Jeez.
and
Yes.
that's the living proof of that of what you just said.
Yep. Never burn
I
your
mean,
bridges, guys.
I mean,
Never burn your
granted,
bridges.
he's married now and he's got other priorities because of being married to his wife and wanting to start a family and all that. But we still spend time together every once in a while, even though he's a lot more busier than me because he's a doctor and he has a lot of responsibility with that, and
Hmm.
he's a surgeon. However, I feel like the time I spend with him is a lot more valuable. Granted, I'm still a bit salty that he didn't make me his best man for the wedding.
Yeah.
I'm a bit disappointed by that. But the thing is, I've had some introspection on that one, and I thought to myself like, well, maybe it's actually good that I didn't become his best man that day, because I probably would have different expectations when it comes to the friendship we have. Granted, we don't always have that much time to spend together, and it is very rare when we actually meet up and actually spend more than 5 hours together. But the thing is, when we do meet up, it is like we just met yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
I mean,
Don't burn your bridges just because you're in a relationship. Yeah, granted,
yeah.
your significant other can be a priority in a way, but it shouldn't just be her or him, depending, right? But yeah, you have to strike a balance, and it's also important to talk to your friends and maybe get some perspective from their side, because sometimes you can learn a lot of things from your friends, believe it or not. Even though they might say some dumb shit, but yeah.
When it comes to best man and all of this, that, and the other, so I had a very similar thing. So one of my best mates when I was younger, his missus hated me,
Yeah.
because I had the power to come between him and her, because he
jealousy.
would listen. Yeah, basically, it was a jealousy streak, that I had the ability to basically bend his ear, and if I needed to, I could bring him over to my way of thinking. And needless to say, she didn't like that power that I had, so she did her utmost to sabotage the relationship, and eventually the relationship did sour between me and my best mate.
Because she told him that you were a bad influence.
No, actually, because I realised that he was an arsehole. Um, and whilst we were growing up,
so?
obviously, you you come to understand. You kind of like turn a blind eye to certain things.
Yeah.
But he tried going off with another girl whilst out for a night, and his other half was in the same freaking building. I'm like,
What the fuck?
why are you
What?
trying to cop a feel off this lass, trying to snog this bird?
That's fucked
And
up.
this bird didn't want anything to do with it. He was being drunk and overpowering. And I was like, hold on a minute. I don't like this. You can fucking fuck off. I ended up, because the lass he was trying to try it on with, I was good mates with her as well. I was like, nah, fucking let me, because I was driving. I was sober. I said, right, let me take you home. Let me get you out of here. Took her home, and with that, I'm like, I got a load of abuse from him saying, "Oh, I've done this and I've fucked up," and his other half, who hated me, came to me because he's been a fucking dickhead. Because she
Well,
suddenly
yeah,
realized
obviously.
that, hold on a minute, that I was always the fucking good guy, and what she had done is basically misunderstood what kind of dynamic I was playing in the total in the relationships as they
You
were.
were the counterbalance to him in
Yep.
a way. Yeah.
And sadly, she's no longer with us now because she passed away from cancer a couple of years ago. But I still think about it. I still think about it, and yeah, I've got no problem with calling my best mate, calling anybody out if they're being an arsehole. Got no problem with it.
I mean, looking back at it, because he told me over a drink that I wouldn't be his best man, which in hindsight
Yeah.
was a bit of a scummy move on his part, because he tried to weave me in and make sure that my feelings weren't hurt too bad, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I took offense that day. I was like, well, okay, guess I'm not that much of a best friend, huh? Choosing me over someone you met like 3 years ago and who has a bit more to do with how you met your partner and all that stuff. I mean, granted, it makes sense in the end, because it took me a long time to actually get to the point of actually realizing that, and that's
Yeah.
okay. That was probably the only time I was very, very salty towards him.
Mm.
But I always call him
mean-
out on his shit, you know, because he did the same thing that you just told the audience, like, don't sideline your friends, you know. And he did sideline me for another chick for a while, and I was like, I know your girlfriend hates my fucking guts. And he was like, how so? Yeah, because every time I want to do something with you, she suddenly pretends to be sick, and you feel sorry for her, and you just stay with her. What's up with that?
Yep.
You should have told her no.
Yep. 100%. Never fucking shit on your friends, guys. You never know
Friends
when
are
you're
very
gonna need them.
important. Yeah, they're very important. Trust me.
You never know when you're gonna need them. They also never know when it's gonna be likewise.
Yep. Can
And
confirm that one.
I say to my friends at the end of the day, if anybody needs me, all I've got to do is pick up the phone and ring.
Yep.
I've
Yep.
got no problem. Time of day doesn't matter to me. If someone needs something,
Yep. You and I are very similar in that regard, mate. We care for our friends, you know.
yep.
We're not some backstabbing assholes who take that to our advantage and rub it in our hands like, hee, ooh, cool, drama, so we can actually make people feel like shit. No, that's not how we roll.
But we also won't put up with the bullshit.
100%. Exactly. I mean, we spoke about this at length when we were in private, that we have very similar mindsets when it comes to bullshit.
Yep. We do indeed. We do indeed.
And it's very important to, you know, keep that in mind, that the real friends you have will actually stick with you no matter what. That's the gist of it. The fake ones, they will eventually just sort themselves out in a way.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
Funny how that
people
works,
get
huh?
People will suddenly have the fucking comeuppance that they need.
Yep.
It
is interesting though, when I really think about it. I've been bullied in school quite a lot. I mean, I think I've told this story before. If I did, please stop me. I've been bullied in school quite a lot when I was younger, especially in my teens. My teenage years were hell. I had people like forge like fake letters with my handwriting, because my handwriting was pretty basic bitch handwriting. Everybody could copy it. That's how simple it was. And some people just started making up shit so I would get in trouble with other people. And then they just started like making up things that like I'm lusting for other classmates and all that shit. So yeah, my last year in school was the worst one I had, and the principal pretended like there was no bullying going on at his school. That's what he even said to my parents. He was like, "Nope, there's no bullying going on here. Your son's imagining it all." Sure thing. Yeah, come to think of it, actually, I've been physically bullied, like being poked with sticks, being beaten with sticks, kicked, punched, all that stuff. But it didn't change who I was. I always stayed the kind-hearted man that I am, and that never changed.
Fucking joke though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fucking retarded, because they took my kindness for weakness. And the ironic part is, I've seen some of my old bullies a couple of years ago, and I met them in public, and I was like, "So how's life treating you then?" And then, obviously, there's always this cliche of the bully being suddenly turning ugly and all that stuff. And that's exactly what happened. It's kind of ironic. And I always said to the guys who bullied me, or even the girls, you will all have your comeuppance eventually. You will have to pay a fucking price for what you've done. Yeah, some of the bullies that bullied me have since been living in the streets as homeless people. I mean, I don't wish homelessness on anyone, but that's just karma, in my opinion.
Yep.
And fuck them. Yep. And some people turn their life around and actually apologize to me years later. I mean, granted, it's a bit late because it fucked me up for a very long time. Damage is done
at that point.
I mean, it's evident because I've been stuttering ever since I've been bullied.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that has been sticking with me ever since. But I'm okay to talk about it nowadays because I don't see a point of actually hiding the fact that I have been bullied, and I'm the living proof that bullying can be something that you shouldn't be doing. But at the end of the day, it made me who I am, and it made me realize that choosing the way of how I handled it wasn't necessarily the wrong way. I never thought back because I know for a fact that I didn't have the chance. I was a podgy guy. I never put. You would have never seen me bust a grape in a fruit fight, basically.
Yeah,
that's the kind of guy I was, you know. It didn't help that I just never really considered picking up any martial arts or anything like that, which doesn't make it any better, to be perfectly honest with you. But you know, it's it made me who I am, and I'm actually kind of glad that it turned me to the man that I am today. And, you know, considering the shit I've been going through the last few years, I mean, I don't want any sympathy or shame, like pity or anything. Fuck that, no. I just want to show you an example of how you can handle bullying in a good way. You know, bullying is never good. It doesn't matter who does it, but it's never good.
And people should know no one's got the right to bully another individual.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, granted, what we do online is calling celebrities out, and people say, "Oh, that's bullying too, you fucking idiot." Yeah, well, granted, it's an alternative way of it, but I'm not going out of my way to say like, "Well, your mom should have died or should have choked on a bag of dicks or something like that." That's not me, you know. There's a certain tact that you can apply to that kind of thing, you know. And that's the beauty of it. You know.
How's your drawing going?
Not too bad. I can actually let me just share my screen real quick. Sharing. Where did it go? There. Just go live here. Should be able to see it now.
Yeah. Let's watch stream.
Just need to move it up a little. Hang on. There you go. Should be able to see it much better now. I've added a second layer so I can actually draw the hair a bit more thicker. Well, that's all I have. It's not bad for.
I like the application as well.
It's pretty neat, yeah.
Yeah, I like the application as well.
It's very simplistic.
I made a mistake that I started drawing in fucking landscape for saying that I needed to be in portrait, so I've just cut the bottom off my image.
I mean,
I've just gone something very easy.
I can swap at any time because I can flip around this tablet whenever I want to, so I can use it in landscape or in portrait. So that's the cool thing about it, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, I like it.
It's really
who's that character?
It's Shinji from Neon Genesis Evangelion. He's the protagonist of the book, and
cool.
I just like the character. Even though he's a bit of a whiny bitch sometimes, granted, but Yeah, the funny thing is, one of my exes says that I reminded she thought him and I were very alike back in the day, which is kind of funny looking back at it in hindsight. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
Well, hey, good. I'm currently drawing fucking
Toon Link.
Link at the minute.
It looks good. It looks very good. I like your drawing style and approach to it. It's not being sarcastic. I mean it.
Trying to just get back to drawing in general and just getting the lines right. And
yeah, that's always the challenge, isn't it? Getting the lines proper. You know,
it's been so long since I did any form of drawing.
Yeah.
It's a case of right, okay, that doesn't look quite right. I'm not happy with the eyes at the minute. The eyes are not quite right. Hair's slightly out. But yeah, I mean,
the idea behind this. The idea behind this stream is that it's not meant to be meant to be perfect, mate. I mean, Shinji's eyes are a bit wonky on my end, but that's okay. This is a fun thing to do, and that's what you should never forget. This is just a creative outlet for us to have a chat and also, wind down a little bit from a long day's work, right? So
what's the adage that Gary normally says every now and again? It's progress, not perfection. It's the Robert McCall out of Equalizer.
Yep.
Progress, not perfection.
Yeah, and we're not here.
That goes for people obviously watching as well. Whenever you're doing 100%. Anything like this, it's all about doing things, doing progress. You shouldn't expect perfection straight away.
Yep, it takes time.
Yeah.
And also remember, guys, do the things you love, because they're usually the things that reward you the most.
Yep, indeed they are.
Whether that's just like baking or whatever the hell you do, wrapping prezzies, design something, or I don't know, just read a book or something. Usually it's the little things that you do in your everyday life that bring you joy,
Yeah, bake me a cake, bitch.
Bake me a cake, make me a sandwich, bitch. kind of that attitude, yeah. That makes sense. Yep.
I have to get a cake for tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
I need cake.
It's a good shout. You should.
Need cake. Give cake. More cake. More.
So how are you enjoying the RoboCop game, mate?
Mate, it's obscene. It's obscenely fun. It is obscenely fun. Just being able to just shoot people in the dick, as you can imagine, it's right up my alley in terms of what I find fun. I enjoy it. I certainly do enjoy it. I mean, the story's fairly straightforward. I'm more impressed that obviously it's not from a AAA studio.
That's actually from a indie. That was from a smaller studio.
It's an indie. It's an indie studio. I mean, even Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't from a AAA studio. That was a double. It's fucking obscene. And obviously, that's doing really well at the in the awards sense, as we all expected. Let's face it, we all expected the awards to go bloody quite good for them.
I mean, it's a seal of approval and quality in a way when it's universally acclaimed by gamers and critics alike. I mean, I don't necessarily take awards as measurements if a game is good or not, but it does make the purchase a lot more worth it if you know that you're not the only one who enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, and the thing that I really find bizarre with Baldur's Gate is so many people are looking at the genre in a completely different way, and it's like, RPGs are fun still. People do want to play with them still.
Yeah.
It's like fucking brilliant.
The thing is, though, the gaming industry will learn the wrong lessons from it. They will.
Yeah.
It's the same as
Yeah.
Hollywood. Something's successful, and then they're like, "Oh, we should replicate what Larian did." Right? That's going to be the takeaway from it. And then some publishers will be like, "Make a game like Larian did, but with less of a budget."
With less of a budget. Yeah.
And realistically speaking, you can't do that because the budget shows in that game. It really does.
Yeah. It really does. I mean, Wizards of the Coast obviously took a massive risk with Larian, not knowing how well it was going to come out.
Yeah, but that's the
fuck
thing.
me,
Sometimes it's these little unexpected things that come out of it. It's like lightning in a bottle, right?
Yeah.
In a way, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it.
I think I might make a cup of tea, mate.
Yeah, I'm thinking about topping up my drink as well.
I need a piss.
Yeah, that too. Should we just cut to the BRB screens and then come back?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, mate. Right, be right back, okay. Guys. Be right back.
BRB.
Be right back.
Yes.
Yes, mesh.
Okay, I'm back. So, let's see. Audio's fine. Good. Yeah, I did some decent progress on this drawing, I think. Tombi's doing pretty good on his part too, which is good to see. I'm just generally looking forward to the final product, you know. It's looking pretty rad. And I'm actually kind of glad how it turned out so far. I mean, it's not perfection, but I also want to point out that that's not the point of this whole art stream right here. No, we're just,
just spending some time having good chin wag. Having a good 100%. Chin wag.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Yeah. And welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much indeed.
I'm drinking out of my Scotland Starbucks coffee mug today. Believe it or not.
I am drinking out the Grandosaurus.
Hey, pretty fitting.
The Grandosaurus Rex.
Do you have any? I've been thinking about something while we were taking a break. Do you have any dad advice for the chat, or any advice that you generally want to share with us?
It's actually a good one, actually, because I mean, when you look at kind of like information that's out there, life skills, anything from picking up trades, jobs, spending time with your kids, what to focus on, what not to focus on, what can you pay attention to, ignore. I would say we could break it down into certain areas. So you could look at it from a school, things like that. It takes a very specific person to be kind of like really clued up on the academic side. So not everyone's going to be academic.
Obviously.
Gonna fucking enjoy school. Not everyone's gonna have the necessary aptitude or the fucking willpower to fucking stick with school all the time. But just because you may or may not enjoy school or do well at school, doesn't mean that you're any less worthy of anything going ahead. And for those people that aren't academically, I would say, suitable, um, don't write yourselves off, guys. Look towards what you can do with your hands. Look towards the trades that are out there, because jobs like plumbers, electricians, carpenters, um, cooks, all of these types roles, they don't necessarily need to have a high academic capability,
Yes.
but you'll find that you have work forever, because
Hmm.
everyone always needs a cook. Everyone's always shouting out for plumbers, for electricians, DIY, carpentry, you name it, painters.
Yeah, your work is always appreciated. That's the gist of it, right? It's amazing it died again. I think my internet may have just died. Are you there, mate?
Testing comms, testing comms.
What the hell happened there?
Um, I've we've had this before where the stream basically shits the bed, and I've got to leave the channel in order to come back into it, and then suddenly it connects. But I did
Yeah.
notice that your video dropped out, and so did mine.
Well, my video dropped out deliberately because I wanted to save some bandwidth.
Got you. So not sure whether it was your end, whether it was mine. But
Probably
I got to
yours.
the stage where it's got to be mine, 100%. I just got to the stage where I was just saying, guys, don't write yourselves off. There's plenty enough work to go around. You can make a successful business, not
Oh,
being an
absolutely.
academic. Um, so
There's an
look at.
interesting observation I made, by the way, when it comes to societies nowadays. Especially where I live in Germany, people tend, or generally the politicians tend to push for more elitism status for a lot of jobs these days. So
Mhm.
the idea behind that is that people think that you have to have a bachelor's degree or something similar along the lines to be something in society, which is pretty dumb when you really think about it, because all
Yeah.
the trades and all the other jobs that you have don't necessarily rely on that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Agreed.
And I think the basic idea that you have to have a bachelor's degree to work in a store, for example, behind the till, is dumb to me.
Yeah.
Because you can count coins if you're somewhat passable at maths, and it doesn't take a lot of skill to be behind a counter, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah. Totally agree.
And
Totally agree.
it's, I don't know. It's just you'll find your wheelhouse out there. Even like Tommy said, a tradesman is always or looked at, sought after. You'll never run out of work. There's always something
Yeah.
that needs fixing.
There's always something that needs doing. There's always something that needs fixing, and this comes back to the whole point of the Pandaverse, where you've got a load of coders and programmers and what have you, all sat around in the Home Depot,
Yep.
because that's what's going to happen. And then you're going to have such a kind of like a demand on everyone that can do stuff with their hands. Anyone that can fix stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you're onto a right winner. I tell you, you're
Yes.
onto a right winner.
Yep.
Learn how to balance your books as well, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Work out what you've got coming in, what you've got going out in terms of your spend. Learn how to control your finances.
Yep.
Don't
Overspend.
overspend. There is something to be said with saving up to be able to purchase something or to be able to buy something. Because
Yep.
what it will do, it will teach you two things. One, that you can do it. And the
Mhm.
other thing, it'll also teach you to respect what you've bought.
Yes.
Because if you have to earn it, properly earn it, and it's taking you some time, it's like doing the paper round as a kid, and
Mhm.
you're saving all your money to buy yourself a brand new bike. I bet um, everything that I have that those people that go through 100 weeks of saving to purchase a bike will look after and cherish that bike uh, for absolute years.
Yes.
Absolute years.
100%.
Um,
It's the same as mowing the lawn for their
yep.
neighbors, or for your own parents. So that's probably the thing that some of our American viewers can relate to, especially the ones who are in our age bracket in a way,
Yep.
And you brought up an interesting thing because I think it's like around the 16th or 17th of each month, I can actually see my wages that come in for the end of the month, right? So it's basically my summary of payment summary. And
Mm-hmm.
this month I'm getting Christmas money, so I actually get like a decent chunk of extra money on top of the one the one I earned, right? And
Yep.
the money that I'm earning this month will partially go towards getting my new gaming PC towards February. So the idea is, because I only have a gaming laptop, which is a HP Omen, which is a pretty good gaming laptop as it is, but obviously it can't be my main source of streaming. I want to have a proper desktop PC so I can actually take this gaming stuff a bit more seriously, because granted, I take it seriously already, but I'm having fun with it at the same time. But I've set myself this goal at the beginning of this year, actually, to actually get this desktop PC funded.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the contributions that I get from the main channel, and trust me, guys, they're much appreciated, and I love you guys so much for actually supporting me and showing up and all that, and it's much appreciated. They do help me actually get a good footing, a solid footing in financing it. And that's the beauty of it. That exactly what you just said, Tombi. The setting yourself a goal and then actually being able to reach it. It is such a beautiful thing. I absolutely love it. And you have to consider this as well, chap. I may come across like I'm a rich guy. I'm not, by any stretch of imagination. Or at least I didn't come from a rich background like some other people have. No.
Yeah.
I had to check, turn every penny when I was a kid, because my family wasn't rich. And
Yep.
I'm very
Exactly the same.
grateful for every single penny that I have left at the end of the month. And I have one friend in America. He lives in California. Poor soul. I actually met him through because he was a fan of my audio editing back in the day. I started editing music in 2016. No, 2016. Yeah, I think it was. No, wait, no. Yeah, 2016 is where I actually got quite popular on the internet with that. And met one of a good close friend of mine called Jardel. I don't know if he's watching. If he is, then much love to you, man. And yeah, he's been inspired by what I did to actually try and make a living with sound editing. Granted, granted, it doesn't. Granted, he's not. He's just getting started, and he actually got the ins and outs of it. So he's basically my trainee in a way. I was his mentor, and he actually adapted some of the skills that I used to make his own twist on audio editing in a way, like using AI
Yeah.
for songs and all that stuff. I never did that, but he just adapted it. And I think that's pretty cool to see. And the idea is that because it was his birthday just recently and Christmas is coming up, that I'm going to give him some of my extra Christmas cash that I'm getting this month, so he can actually have a nice Christmas for a change as well.
Well,
I'm not, you know what? I'm not doing this for clout. I'm just saying because I care for that guy a lot, and bless him, his mom passed away 2 years ago, and he's been living by himself ever since, and it's kind of sad, because he'll be reminded of how lonely he's going to be at Christmas if it weren't for his family. And yeah, I always support him whenever I can because he doesn't have much money, and yeah, he deserves it. And that's why I want to be able to help him out a little and show him that the world is not just a terrible place out there.
Yeah, there's something to be said for people just being appreciative of people. It really is.
I'm very grateful for him.
And I know full well that that Jardel's obviously going to 100% appreciate it.
Oh,
Massively.
100%. Yeah.
100%. Without shadow of a doubt.
He's probably going to be upset.
Oh yeah.
When
granted.
I will help him, but
Granted.
I kind of anticipate that already, so I have a good countermeasure in a way, and it's okay. I care for that guy so much, so it's okay. Even though we never met in person, that's the funny part about it.
I think we've spoken about this before, and it's like myself. We never grew up with money, and because we didn't grow up with money, I've never found money to be my driving force behind anything. So that's why 100%. I don't give a shit if I give away my last bloody dollar. It doesn't mean anything to me. The fact that I've got money in the pocket just means that I can help more people. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I don't look at it from a materialistic perspective because that's not who I am. It's not what drives me in life.
And let's face it, if we die, we can't take our prized possessions with us anyway.
I'll fucking try. Oh, Jesus. I'll take my computer.
You can get buried with it.
Yeah, I want to be fucking playing games when I go to hell. I want to be playing fucking video games. I ain't gonna get fucking bored.
I highly doubt you go to fucking hell though.
Nah.
You're too kind-hearted for that one, mate.
It's hard to go to hell when you don't believe in it. Anyway, so
that's very true. That is very true. Yeah, but yeah, it's one way of putting it.
I know what you mean, though.
I mean, like I said, Jardel will be very upset, and I am fully aware of that. But you know what, Jardy? I don't fucking care. Even if you're listening to this after the fact, just know that I'm looking out for you and your family. To me,
Jardy, suck a dick. Anyway. Yep.
Yeah, bless him.
Yeah,
bless him. Though. He's, he
sounds like a good lad.
Yeah, he's a very down to earth guy, and I'm actually glad that he never went full retard in a way,
Yep. It's
I mean,
far
he could have.
easy these days to go full retard.
Yeah, especially for clout.
Yeah. Clout chasers and fucking everything in between.
Yeah,
I was thinking to myself, what time did you want to go to tonight?
I'm cool with whatever, mate. I'm cool with whatever, mate. I easily got an hour and a half or two to spare, so it's fine.
Cool.
I'm already coloring parts of Shinji already because it helps me accentuate some of the details a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a white and purple suit, so it's actually easy for me to just paint a little. So I open up an extra layer just for the color, so I can actually draw over when needed to. So that's fine.
Cool,
The good thing is I can make the color disappear every once in a while, so I can actually get the layers, the color layers done properly. You know.
Yeah.
And the idea behind this, guys, is that we're just having fun and having a bit of a banter, and give you guys a chance to see some artistic endeavors of ours that aren't necessarily just related to video games. You know.
Yeah, funny old thing. Guess what? It's not
Oh,
the
yeah.
only thing we're good for.
Yeah, I
It's not the
mean,
only thing we're good for, guys.
100%.
Yeah, I'll probably do another half an hour.
Yep,
Only
sounds good to
from the
me.
perspective I've got to get up early and get ready for this 24-hour stream.
Yeah, you want to get this edited down, right? So you can
Yep.
actually air it in time. You might want to
Yep.
make it a premiere, so people can chat along the way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because if it is, people can still chat, and not just that, is whilst I'm probably eating or we're traveling to or from or doing this, that, and the other, we can be responding to the guys and just generally chatting away. It's
Yeah.
probably a good way to be a bit more interactive with the viewers anyway.
I mean, granted,
With
the viewers
those
probably
viewers.
the viewers are probably thinking, "Why the fuck are these guys ignoring us all the time?" We're not. This is pre-recorded, guys. That's the beauty of it. So
Yep.
what you guys are seeing is something we recorded in advance, so you can actually have some content. Tombi gets some extra videos and not just having to depend on his goddamn live streams all the time. So you can
Fucking
actually get
live
some.
stream.
So you can actually get some subscribers through natural growth, you know, and
Yep.
you always have to remember this, guys. Live streaming just live streaming doesn't help your channel. You need extra videos as well.
Yeah,
And
you need the extra videos. And the other thing as well is obviously from a perspective of it being a 24-hour stream.
100%.
I didn't. I suppose it's a not a cop out as such, but
Well, I wouldn't call it that.
whole
No.
we are still doing 24 hours of content. I'm just putting some ahead of time, so it allows me to have a break at the right moment.
Yeah, especially if you need some extra energy, fresh air, and all that stuff, you can
Yeah.
easily add this in. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, that's the same what the EFAP guys are doing. Do you expect Mulder, Fringy, and Rax to be awake for 24 hours? Hell no. Of course they are, but they need to stretch their legs every once in a while because sitting in a chair for such a long freaking time is very taxing on your back.
Yeah.
And your ass as well, and your buttocks
And my ass.
your ass and your buttocks does need a break every once in a while. Believe it or not, chat.
Yep. I do indeed.
And that's the magic behind it, you know. What I'm thinking about is as well. I'm gonna send you my recording, and I will also send you my time lapse, so you can actually
Oh yeah, that'd be ideal.
show the result in the end if you want to, maybe as a credit roll or something like that, and you have something for the audience to see as well, which is pretty cool.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Anything you're excited for in the next few days, though, mate? Anything in particular?
Right. Okay.
Apart
So
from
I'll
you,
give you.
from you turning, getting one more year around the Earth, so to speak.
So tomorrow, obviously, the 24-hour stream begins. Finishes Saturday. I've
by the
got to
time
probably have.
Full disclosure: by the time you guys are watching it, it's going to be today.
Yeah. So gonna be playing games and chinwagging and doing everything in between.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Saturday, I would say probably I'll go to bed at 10 in the morning, have a couple of hours, get up, do some housework. Sunday, I've got to do 8 hours worth of driving. So I'm going. Yeah. So the son is. So the son lives. So one of the sons lives in Colchester. He's taken me up to Stratford upon Avon, where the rest of the kids live, so I can pick up one of the kids' spare cars
because at the minute we've got no vehicle, so we can't fucking
Right.
do anything. He's taking me up there to pick up the daughter's spare vehicle. I'm then driving that one back. That'll then give us the vehicle to then use and whatever we need to do shopping and whatever else in between.
Right.
So certainly it's going to be a busy. It's definitely going to be a busy 24 hours.
Oh, absolutely.
48 hours. In fact, it's going to be a busy weekend.
I mean, that
What
was to
about
be
yourself?
expected, right?
Yeah, you're working tomorrow. You working over the weekend?
Yes, I am. I actually have
de balls.
sucky divorce, yeah. And the kicker is, I'm going to be away for the week, but I'll tell you off recording and stream because
Yeah, cool.
because of reasons. But
Yep.
yeah, it's going to be a busy week. Let's just put it that way. Let's just say my Scottish cousin is getting married, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yep. Nice,
But yeah,
sir.
and I'm quite excited for the next few weeks. I mean, by the time you're listening to this, my Metal Gear Solid 3 video should be live on the gaming channel, which is the prologue of the Virtuous Mission. Obviously, more parts will drop accordingly whenever I have the time to record them. Not going to stress myself over it. I will take my time with this playthrough. But I'm very excited to actually premiere that video because I've been meaning to stream Metal Gear Solid 3 for quite some time, or recording it, so to speak, because Metal Gear Solid 3, for those who haven't played it, is a very, very, very good game. It is a tactical espionage game, and granted, it's made by Hideo Kojima, who has been making some bangers in the last few years, and also some duds. But yeah, the less said about them, the better.
Yep.
And yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of those games that came from the PlayStation 2 era of games where, frankly, video game developers actually still gave a shit about games. Frankly, that's the gist of it. And Metal Gear Solid 3, for those who don't know, is a game that came out 19 years ago on the day of Tommy's birthday, ironically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to turn 20 next year. Time flies, huh? But it's a marvel.
Yeah, it's the fact that I can still remember to this day. Was it number 2 or was it number 3? I can't remember if it's number 1 now. Where it first introduced the idea of hiding as a piece of
that was number 1
scenery. It was number 1, wasn't it?
No, free was with the camouflage.
Yeah.
But number 1 introduced the box.
Yeah.
That you
Just
could
fucking
hide in.
crazy. Absolutely crazy idea.
Here's an interesting tidbit about that. The first game, Kojima built every single level for that game in Lego, as a concept. So the level designers have,
wasn't it?
The cameras, and also because the level designers need to have a reference of what the level looks like. So he built every single part of the map as in Lego.
Fucking obscene.
It's obscene.
I mean, people don't need to do that anymore.
No.
Because of the way, obviously, rendering engines usually do it on the fucking fly these days, because our computing capabilities improved. But fuck me, what type of dedication is that, where you're building things out of Lego just so that you can show people what they need to be building within the game?
It's unheard of, mate. It's unheard of. You would imagine Larian would have done that for the entire map of Baldur's Gate. Just built everything in Lego. Imagine how much time that would have consumed. It's unheard of, mate.
I don't think they would ever have fucking made the game.
No, they would still be working on it to this day, as we speak.
Yep.
They probably wouldn't come out until like 2 or 3 years, if we're generous, later.
Yeah, if you're really generous.
And the thing is, it's the same with Mario, right? I don't know if you guys if you know this, Tommy, but Miyamoto, the father of Mario, used to draw on very specific paper to design the levels. I think it was it lined paper? I'm not quite sure anymore, but it was some kind of paper that he used to draw on, and he recently released some of the level designs that he did. I'm trying to think of the name.
Wasn't he doing it on dot matrix paper printer?
I think it was dot matrix paper. Yeah.
Because it all used to be, and the reason why he said he uses dot matrix, I think it was one, it had the built-in lines, and he could fold it out left to right.
It was graph paper that he drew.
Yeah, it's graph paper.
It is obscene that you did that on graph paper. I've seen graph paper, and I'm still to this day legit terrified of it because my math skills are fucking abysmal. I admit that because I am not Asian, and yeah, I have an F in maths, so it's okay. I stand by that, and that's okay. Yeah, I admit that I'm a retard, but it's okay.
I mean, the fact that you've got a lower grade in maths is neither here nor there. You recognise that you haven't got that as a strong point. It doesn't matter. Yeah, sure. I can understand that having a stronger maths grading or a stronger grasp in maths may help in some scenarios, but you're talking those scenarios are so small and so infinitesimally rare that it really makes no fucking odds, guys. The fact that someone's good in maths, good in English, good in science, or any of that bullshit doesn't fucking matter. Does not fucking matter.
At the end of the day, your skill matters that you bring to the table. See, I mean, I've got an F's in maths, but it doesn't really matter because I'm a nurse and I still have a job where this shit doesn't matter as much as people would probably like to believe. I remember very, very fondly that I was denied from a nursing school because of my maths grade. And he told me that I'm very far away from reality to actually apply for this kind of job. So I just told him to suck it in a way. Obviously not to his face, but by applying to different schools and actually managing to get a slot in a school eventually. I mean, granted, it was for a nursing home for the elderly, but I still had a apprenticeship in that field. Granted, it's a different field to what I originally wanted to do, but that doesn't matter in the end.
Nope.
Because I still managed to get a job where I'm actually happy with the path that I took, and that's the most important thing, guys. Don't let anyone tell you that you're far away from reality unless it's actually something very stupid that you're doing. Because I've had many people tell me that I'm crazy, that I'm far away from reality and all that nonsense, only to turn around and tell them to suck it because I actually managed to finish an apprenticeship. I remember very fondly, well, fondly is a bit of a stretch, but I remember the words that my dad stuck into my head when I started this apprenticeship. If you're fucking this up, you're going to be working at McDonald's. Not the most encouraging words you want to hear from your father, right? So I had this indirect pressure that I needed to impress my dad, which was the dumbest mindset I had around that time. But it helped me actually stay motivated to remember why I actually did this job. I wanted to help people and actually learn a job that's somewhat rewarding but also helpful to society.
I mean, I'll give you another flip side on that, chap. Right. Is so Smooth's obviously he's worked for what he's got. He's earned
10 years
where he is.
10 years nearly.
I joined the armed forces. Yeah, I had the qualifications behind me. I joined the armed forces, came out of the armed forces. I've progressed in what I'm doing. The jobs that I've had for the last 10 years all have a minimum qualification of degree, master's degree, or higher. I haven't got a fucking degree.
Yet you still have the job.
Correct. So
Yep.
just because someone says that degrees
need
and
a
all this,
degree.
that, and the other, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Your aptitude, if you've got the right aptitude, guys, it will carry you through everything. And Smooth's a case in point. I'm a case in point.
Yep. And the thing is, the job interviews are very important as well, because you have to remember this, guys. Job interviews are there to sell yourself. You pitch yourself to your new employer. Sorry. You have to sell yourself very well to get the job. If you do well, you actually get the job. You don't necessarily have the qualifications for it. If you want to be brutally honest, you can say, "Well, I didn't learn the craft yet, but I'm willing to learn." Especially if you're just starting new, and it helps, because I used to do an office job before I became a nurse. I was actually trying to become a logistics manager because my dad was one, and I was like, "Hey, I want to fill my father's shoes, and continue the tradition of the family, because that's what families used to do, like carrying on traditions in a way." Right? So that's what I did. And after 2.5 years, granted my apprenticeship would have been 3 years, but after 2.5 years I realized that the job wasn't for me. I could have stopped earlier. Yes, you're probably right there, but I was very insecure about myself back then. I was like in my early 20s. I had no idea what the fuck I was going to do once I was done with that apprenticeship, whether I wanted to stay in that job or not. But I realized sooner or later, regrettably, a bit too late, I think, that this job wasn't for me, and I quit the apprenticeship 6 months from being done with it. But the problem was my grades weren't great because I was a lazy bastard. I was not paying attention to school whatsoever because my mind was occupied with other things around that time. if you catch my drift. And the thing is, my boss was also one of my dad's clients, I would say. And so it was like a favor based thing. And when he didn't get any favors from my dad anymore, he started to treat me like shit. Make me clean the toilets every single day, at least thrice a day. Make me make coffee, clean up the warehouse with just a broom, nothing else. And he expected it to be spotless by the end of the day. And he just
suck a dick.
Well, the funny thing is, there's a bit of backstory to that. The company I worked for moved places 3 times during those 2.5 years. 3 different warehouses until they settled to where they are now. And the interesting thing is, my boss actually collapsed in the office because of burnout around the 2-year mark of my apprenticeship. So he was hospitalized for less than a week, but he got himself excused out of it after just 1 week of being almost 1 week of being away, which was pretty silly on his part, but that's neither here nor there. And then his wife took over, so she was the administrative lead for the time. And she called me to the office and said, "Well, I have the impression that you're a bit overwhelmed with this job. Maybe you should quit." And I just started laughing in her face. I was like, "You fucking what? I'm being overwhelmed with this fucking job." And I was like, and I even said to her, while her husband was sitting next to her, my actual boss, I was like, "I'm not the one who collapsed in the office, Friendly reminder who that was." And my boss didn't like that answer from me, obviously.
No.
And they were like, "Well, we have the impression that you should just go and find another job. So I was like, all right, okay, that's all I needed to hear. So fuck off. So I just left just left for work early. Went to the job office in my hometown where I lived, and just filed for unemployment. The exact same day. And granted, it was a bit of a too quick reaction on my part, but
nah,
I don't regret it. I don't regret it one bit, mate. That's the thing.
Sounds like they were taking a piss, to be honest.
Oh, trust me, mate. They were, and yeah. I mean, I had to sign a contract to agree that I don't want to continue this apprenticeship anymore, which is fine. I mean, who would have fucking taken me on? Would have taken me on for a half a year anyway, because I felt like an utter failure at that point anyway, because my grades weren't great. But that's neither here or there. But that's where my civil servantship came in, you know, where I managed to get the slot in the ICU in my hometown's hospital, and was allowed to work there. So that's how I got the nursing job in the end, or got to nursing in general, because I was exposed to the medical field, and I was never aware of how the medical field works until then. I mean, granted, I've seen a hospital or two from the inside before, but I was never fully aware of, like, how everything runs, how the nurses work there, and how much time consuming that job actually is, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing, guys. You should, even if things look rather dour, you should just reflect upon yourself and think like, well, I'm worth more than this shit. Know your worth, you know, and don't sell yourself short. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, 100%. Because there's too many people that sell themselves short these days.
Yeah, which is a shame, because I feel like a lot of employers abuse the position they're in. They make people feel like shit on purpose, which is the worst thing that you can do as an employer. You should be you should be on the fucking floor thanking the employees sometimes, especially in a job like this.
The power in the office doesn't belong to the employer. It really doesn't. It belongs to the fucking employees, and the sooner people fucking understand that, the better everybody will be.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Power belongs to the employees, because without the employees, the employer's got no business anyway.
Yeah.
So it's the employees that make the fucking world go round for them. Then employers need to stop being fucking arseholes to people. What you were going through was tantamount to fucking bullying in the workplace.
Yeah, so it adds to the history of bullying that I encountered before, and that's why I saw the signs on the writing on the wall. And I was like, "Fuck it, I'm leaving." You know.
And I would have done exactly the same thing as well. To be honest, mate, I would have told them to fuck off.
That was the first time in my early 20s where I actually managed to show a spine. You know, and I actually have one, and I'm still impressed by myself to this very day that I actually managed to do that. I really am, it's a learning experience that I wish I would have taken with me a lot more, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful for that experience. And like I said, if it wouldn't have been for that experience, I would have probably never even gotten into this field.
But aren't you glad you did?
100%, mate. 100%.
Yeah,
it's a much more. I mean, granted, I bitch and moan about my nursing job a lot to my colleagues, but it's still a very rewarding job at the end of the day, because I'm able to help people and just, you know, make the world a slightly better place every once in a while. Because let's face it, guys, the world is a crazy place as is, and our bodies are very fragile. every organ that we have is has its its purpose, apart from like maybe one or two, I would say. The tiny token fuck off, for example.
when people understand that you're living on borrowed time, because that's all it is. Everyone's on borrowed time. Doesn't matter who you are. You're all on borrowed time.
Yep.
You'll start living life a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before when I had my near death experience. I go through life a lot differently nowadays. I used to be fucking scared of dying. Nowadays, I'm like, well, it's part of life. I have to accept that. Thanatophobia, I think that's the word for it. A lot of people don't like talking about dying and all that stuff, and I can understand why, because it's not necessarily a concept you want to be thinking about when you're in your early 20s or, heck, even younger, you know. But you have to consider this, chat, and I don't want to be some preachy as fuck or anything, but death is part of life.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who you are. Once you get born in this world, there's a timer on you. And everyone's timer is different. Some people are very lucky and have a long life. Others don't. So take every second you have on this godforsaken planet and make it count.
Yeah, make it worth your while, guys. Don't waste it.
And also tell the ones you care for that you love them.
Fuck them.
I can't stress this enough. I
obviously say that jokingly, but fuck them.
Yeah.
Well, I probably don't fucking fuck them if they're family members.
Well, yeah. Disclaimer: we don't.
You get fucking
condone
arrested
incest.
for shit like that.
You
get arrested for shit like that.
Yep. That's
right.
That's
what
the
time
beauty
is
of
it?
it.
10.
10 past midnight for you, mate.
Yeah.
Should we go another 20? Or
yeah.
Okay. That's pretty fitting because I'm finishing up my Shinji drawing anyway, so that's pretty good. The good thing is I have a tool that allows me to copy the colors back onto the pen, so I can actually use it to my advantage. So I don't have to switch. Yeah.
The problem I have with drawing is fucking perfection.
Yeah, the thing is, due to me being colorblind, right? I tend to stay away from coloring drawings. But for some reason, now that I have this tablet, I am a bit more brave in using colors now and actually paint them, even though it probably doesn't look like accurate to the original drawing that I did, to the original that I'm drawing from. But I don't care. It is part of the unique twist for the drawing. Then, you know.
Yeah.
I used to draw like black and white stuff. I mean, granted, most of my portraits are still black and white, but with pencils, you know. But that's fine. That's the unique element of it. I love that shit so much. You know. Anything else on your mind, mate? While we're still here, since we have another 20 to kill.
Anything else on my mind?
I mean, granted, you're going to have quite a busy day today, so.
Well, technically, it's my birthday now. Hey,
happy birthday, you old fart!
Fucking old fart. I mean, so what we've been talking about here, guys, is basically tools. Shit's gonna go fucking sideways on you at some point. Fucking life is fucking shit.
Life works in funny ways.
Yeah.
Whether that's good or not can be debated, of course, but yeah, that's the gist of it, really.
That is the gist of it, and it's. I think it was it The Crow, where one of the characters, I think it was Eric Draven's character. What his motto was, "It can't rain all the time."
Yeah.
And it's true. It can't rain all the time. Yeah, fucking shit can fucking get you down. It really can do. But ultimately, shit's got to change at some point. Be the
Be the change you want the change.
that you want to see. Yeah, 100%.
That's the good old
100%.
quote, isn't it? I used to think that you used to be such what's the word for it?
Massive cliche.
It's a cliche and a bunch of bollocks. I used to think that a lot, but it's kind of funny because it is not. It is. There's some wisdom to be pulled from that quote, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why that quote survived so many years, you know. There's a good reason why.
I have on my computer power tools. What is the shortcut for color picker?
What'd you just call me?
Yeah,
What did you just call me?
exactly. Color picker.
Do you just call me a cotton picker? How dare you, sir?
Yes.
Cancel him.
Cancel. Cancel. Windows.
Right, stream's cancel, guys.
Windows Shift and C. Windows Shift and C. Let's get my fucking keyboard. Yeah.
Window liquor.
Windows Shift and C. Where is that? God knows. Oh, I'll fucking worry about colouring it in later. Worry about colouring it in later. I need to change his eyes because at the minute he looks too much like fucking Michael Jackson. It looks like fucking Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, but it's always a blast hanging out with you, Tombi, and I know I don't say that enough, but your time is always much appreciated, and yeah, you're a top fella. I don't mean to kiss your ass on your birthday, but you know it is what it is. And I'm very grateful for your time as always. And
no, likewise, mate. I mean, the thing is that I think by now I think most people have come to the conclusion that most of us that are in chat we get on really, really well. Everyone that we're in the fellowship, as it were. We've been really, really fortunate, and
we have a very great community here, mate.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy.
Crazy generous people, and very, it's very humbling, in a way.
It is, and I think that's one of the key things that I've found over the last, let's say, 10 months or so. Really getting involved with the various different channels that are out there. Let's just make sure that's the right color. Yeah, that's the right color. Getting used to the channels that are out there, getting used to the people, the individuals. And it's like, holy shit, there is such a lot of people out there that are in exactly the same boat, all kind of like discussing the same things, all got exactly the same kind of like problems that I've got, or the look of life that I have as well, yourself included. And I've been really fortunate, and obviously from a gaming perspective, that I had both yourself and Nina reach out from two different directions with regards to playing some games, and just generally spending some quality time, just having a laugh and just having a chin wag. And
I agree.
It does mean a lot, because I think you could probably gather, I don't have many friends from my childhood still around, mainly because the majority of my friends when I was a kid, they've either gone one direction or another. I think it's not dark enough. That's fucking needs to be darker. Let's go a bit black.
Make it darker.
Make it.
She said.
Make it chicken. Put a chicken egg and make it gay.
Make it gay. Yep.
And there's definitely something to be said with obviously spending time with your partners, your wives, or anything like that.
Absolutely.
But sometimes you just need to have a different adult to talk to.
Yes.
And that's what I found with these streams of ours, streams with Nina playing Baldur's Gate, is that it was giving me essentially another human to talk with, that you could just generally bat ideas off with, or just discuss things, offload things with. It's like, fucking hell, have you seen this shit on Twitter? Have you seen that on fucking this, that, and the other?
Yep.
And sometimes you need it. Sometimes you definitely do need it.
It's good to maintain your sanity in a way with that. In a way, you know, because there's so much crazy shit going on in the world. I mean, let's face it, guys. We're on the brink of World War III or whatever the fuck, you know, whatever you want to call it. Or we're actually having World War III right now. If we're really thinking about it, it's just going on multiple fronts. And like I said, it's strange times we live in, you know, because we're witnessing this world war on our phones, essentially, which is a strange way of putting it, but that's just the way it is, you know.
Yep.
And let's keep it real here. I mean, just look at the crazy shit that's going on, or has been going on in the last 4 years, essentially, in the world, starting with COVID, and then you have all the other shit on top of that. You'd think we would catch a break eventually, but no, we're just getting from one crisis to another, and it's just getting to a point where it's actually where you're thinking it's just a parody at this point. But it is utter insanity. That's what it is.
I'm always thinking it is a fucking parody, you know.
Yeah, we're living in idiocracy. Have you seen that movie, mate?
No.
We should watch it. It's from the creator of Beavis and Butthead, Mike Judge.
Yeah.
And he essentially called a lot of things that happen in the future. The movie's from the early 2000s, and basically the title does what it says. It's basically an idiot becoming president of the United States and running the country, and there's all sorts of idiocracy going on in the world, in that version of America. And it is a very interesting movie to watch nowadays. Granted, it's satire, but you would nowadays think that it's actually a documentary on how modern America works now. It is very accurate. It's scary.
Lol.
And like I said, it's from the creator of Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead.
I love Beavis and Butthead, even though this show is stupid. But you know, it has its caveats. That show.
I mean, it's from a bygone era, that's for sure.
Yeah, remember television, guys? Well, I sure do.
Remember the MTV program?
Wow, remember when MTV used to show music videos? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Then they took a 20-year break of not showing music videos for a very, very long time, and became a reality TV channel.
Yeah. Of all things.
And nowadays they're a pay-per-view channel again, so you have to pay for it to actually watch music videos again. Which is kind of ironic, considering we're in the age of YouTube, where you can watch literally any music video your heart desires. You know.
Yeah, we seem to have gone that full circle now.
Yeah.
We do seem to have gone completely full circle.
I mean, MTV has gone to the point of being irrelevant. I mean, I've grown up with MTV. Yeah. I value the experiences I had with that channel, because it shaped my musical tastes a little.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I feel like that it's a bygone era that's best forgotten as well, in a way.
Whereas for me, it was Kerrang.
Oh, Kerrang! Yeah, mate. Yeah. That's a good shout. Nowadays, Kerrang is just a magazine or website.
Yeah.
I mean, Kerrang is still a thing, right? I think they're
Yeah,
still
Kerrang,
printing.
Kerrang's still a thing. It's still a radio station in the UK as well.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah,
Christ.
so Kerrang you can listen to on digital.
Ah,
Um,
gotcha.
in about London, so in and about Birmingham
Mm-hmm.
was where it was on normal radio, but obviously you can listen to it on digital radio in
Mm-hmm.
the UK.
Right.
Yeah, Kerrang of all fucking
Crazy,
things.
eh?
Yeah, tell me about it. Right, I think he looks a little bit better now. Let's have a look.
I'm quite happy with how Shinji turned out as well. I mean, granted, he's not perfect, but that's not the point of this whole audio we're doing here.
No, I mean,
It's just having fun.
This is the point. It's a case of just having a laugh, spending a bit of time. We're not
Yeah.
here to fucking rush. We're here
No.
to spend a bit of time, do some fucking drawing, have a laugh,
Banter,
and
catching
go
up.
from there.
Yeah. And to jump off from your point that you made earlier with meeting each other, I just took the I just said like, well, screw it. I'm just gonna ask Tommy if he's down for this the whole misadventures thing, and you just said yes, and I'm very grateful for you saying yes. And I mean, we wouldn't be sitting here talking right now if that wouldn't be the case, right? So
Yep.
I'm very
100%.
grateful for it. I'm very grateful for it, and I'm always grateful for you for your time, and also for the guys who are watching. Because let's face it, guys, we could be doing something completely different right now. We could be, I don't know, watching some streams and maybe interact on stream, but that's like in the chat spot. It's legit not the same as talking one-on-one. That's why I appreciate the side scrolls channel, for example, when Stuttering Craig does the one-on-one interviews with people, because you get to know someone very well, quite well, by talking one-on-one with them, or finding out who they really are, for the most part, at least. I mean, what you see is what you get, guys. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not putting on a show for you and pretending to be something I'm not. That's the gist of it. Tommy and I are quite legit on that front. We don't have to pretend to be hyperactive streamer and yelling from the top of our lungs just to get an audience, because that's not who we are. Let's face it, we're not TikTokers or anything like that. We don't need to, and that's the beautiful thing about this, Right, let's see how the fully colored version looks. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just gonna add my signature to this. That's the good thing about writing things down here. And let's see, I just need to add the cuff, but we have a few minutes left, so I'm just gonna do that.
Yep.
And then we let you guys go and enjoy the rest of the Tombi birthday extravaganza. But man, like I said, yeah.
I was going to say, round about now, so, in fact, when would this be played? So if this
probably
is 2.5
in the
hours,
afternoon.
yeah.
It's probably in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, it's probably
It's
going to
almost
be coming
free.
up in the afternoon, guys.
It's almost 3 hours, mate, that we record it.
Yep.
So yeah. So you guys are probably going to see this in the afternoon. So this is the showstopper, to say the least, for the time being, and that's fine.
Yep.
And
Yeah. So what I'll probably do is use this as kind of like the get up towards the breaks and things like that. Break up the day, and also by the time some of this is actually concluding, you're probably going to be home by then.
Yeah.
F&T, like you say, F&T is probably going to be a short one tomorrow because of it being in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and especially because the meetup is happening right now as we speak. It's actually going live.
Yeah.
I think at least I got a notification for it. I'm not going to bother watching it because it's going to be pixelated as fuck, probably. But that's okay. I mean, Yeah, it looks about as much as I expected. X-rays filming right now, but
Shoot.
yeah. And I mean, granted, we're here to kill some time with you guys and just give you some time to enjoy more time with Tombi as well, because the man deserves to reach the 500 subs already. Let's face it. And
I'll go as fast as I can.
now you're catching up with me, mate.
There you go, mate.
That's a good thing.
There you go. So far, just on
You-
Discord, I've just shared my
Oh.
screen.
Yeah, oh yeah, that looks pretty neat. You could
Yeah.
theoretically use paint to paint the whole thing in, you know, when the lines are perfect. When you close the
I mean,
lines, you can paint.
technically, they should be.
I mean, you just need to close the bottom of the body, and you should be fine, right?
Yeah. I mean, what I'm gonna do is I'm obviously going to use this as kind of like the basis for testing, because I'll create
Oh,
another
100%.
layer, and then I'll start using some of the additional tools, because there's the airbrush as well.
Yeah.
It's like there's fucking so many different tools here available to me.
Mhm.
I'm like fucking water brush, thick pens, fucking crazy fucking
Crazy
India
fucking
inks.
things.
Yeah, there's fucking so many different fucking options. It's fucking obscene. Pastels,
Yep.
do fucking chalk. So I'm just gonna use this as kind of like the opportunity to learn all of the various different things and try not to go
Too
too
overboard with.
OT.
Yeah.
But yeah, just get it to
Do you
the point
want
where
to see a
I'm
brief
happy.
summary of the drawing, mate? Because I just
Yeah,
shared
yeah.
the screen.
Go for it.
Right.
Oh.
I'm just gonna press play.
Yep. Where's my mouse gone? There it is.
I'm gonna pause it. Just let me know when you're ready, and I'll do it.
Go for it.
Come on, press play, you stupid piece of shit. Okay, it's just hung up on me. Hang on. That's the beauty of that program sometimes.
Let's hope that it's saved it.
Well, it does save every once in a while, so that's actually good. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
As you can see, I have to paint in everything manually, so it's
Oh,
bit
yeah,
of a
yeah,
bit of a task, but it gets there, you know. That's the beauty of it. This is condensed to I think 2 minutes. I think
Yeah.
roughly, or 1 minute. I think it's 1 minute, but you get the idea, you know.
Mhm.
So that's the finished
Nice.
finished one. So that's actually almost 3 hours of creativity right there, guys.
Yep. And you just showed me something. I'm gonna put a Tombi. I'm gonna write Tombi. Tombi. You gotta
I just
sign
wrote that
your
with the
work,
pen.
guys. You gotta. Yes.
And,
You
I
gotta.
mean, I'm going to
sign
show
your
you on my recording. I'm going to show the Shinji picture that I'm using, because that's
Mm-hmm.
the one that inspired this drawing. I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it works just fine, because it's a very good show that you can watch on streaming now. There's also movies that were made a couple of years after the anime concluded, which continues the story, which is a bit weird, because the ending of the anime is a bit yeah, it's not a necessarily happy ending, to say the least, but yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah.
So guys, without further ado, I know Tombi has to go because we are on limited time, and especially because it's late at night at the time of recording this. So I just want to take my time out to once again congratulate Tombi on his birthday, and
Yay!
I just want to say I'm very grateful to have met you and actually got this opportunity to, you know, meet you in a way. I mean, granted, we haven't met in person, but meet online, you know, and just generally very
At
grateful.
some point,
that
we're gonna rectify that as well.
Oh, 100%, we will, and yeah, guys, for the guys at home watching, We thank you very much for your time indeed, and yeah, just enjoy the rest of the day with Tombi's extravaganza. I will be back for that one for sure. We probably see each other in the evening to play some either some Solasta or Final Fantasy 14, depending on what the time slot allows. And yeah, I'm very excited for it. So
Perfect. And likewise, thank you very much indeed for your time as always, my friend. You look after yourself. Have a good day at work tomorrow, and I'll see you obviously when you get home. For everybody
100%.
else, we will see you in a few.
Indeed.
Ciao for now, guys. Ciao,
Bye
ciao,
for
ciao.
now. Bye bye.
Bye bye.